Now scream queen with a million smiles. Catching all the love from around the world. Whoa. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? Shine your light in the darkest times. You make it bright, bright. Live stream dreams, we're all by your side, by your side. Keep on doing what you do, girl. You're one of a kind, one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're our live stream star, star. Keep rocking your show, no matter where you are. From the block, Jersey girl with a mouth that won't stop, no, no. Sassy, and I'm not afraid to show it. Gonna spill the tea, you better be ready for it. I speak my mind, no filter inside. Shelly's in the house, talking trash and truth, no sugar-coated grooves. Something to lose. Shelly's in the house, time to break the rules. To the city, I'm the queen of cool. You can handle the heat, then take the high. Shelly's in the house, drop the mic. Hey, Shelly in the house tonight. Living it up, feeling so right. Yeah. New Jersey girl, she's got that style. Live stream queen with a million smiles. And she know the love from around the world. Hey Shelly, won't you shine your light? It's time to make you right. Live stream queens with a wayside. You're one of a kind. Shelly, Shelly, you're a live stream star. Keep rocking the show no matter where you are.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday. It is 12:03 p.m. on October 3rd, 2024. And this is Shelly, your mouthy mama, talking trash and truths. You've come to Coffee and Chaos with T3. That's me. Today is Mental Health Check-in Day because this week, October 1st through the 7th, is Mental Health Awareness Week. And I know that on this channel, we have a lot of issues with mental health, so we're pushing forward. It's a beautiful sunny day today, and it's the first time we've seen the sun for prolonged periods of time in probably about a week and a half. And that's what pushed me to do this stream because the dreariness and the rain and mist was really starting to get to me. So this little bit of sunshine has given me an energy boost that I didn't realize I needed. Before we start that, let's say hi to chat. Oh, look, we got Snafu. Hi, honey. Miss me? Of course. When you stay away, we do miss you. Don't make it a habit. Thanks for coming by. Wolfram saying hi to the Snafu certified stud muffin. There you go. We got Heidi. Good to see everyone. It's a fibro achy push through day, but listening in. Girl, I'm right there with you. I almost didn't stream because my shoulders are giving me such a hard time. I'm sitting here going, oh, like it. You ever have one of those pains where it just comes out of nowhere and you're like, what caused this? Did I move something? Did I sleep wrong? As you get older, the list gets longer of why could this be happening to me? Why does that hurt? Did I sleep on it wrong? Did I lift something that weighed more than, I don't know, 3 ounces? Is it the weather? Is it the time of year? Did somebody put a curse on me? You never know. So right now I'm thinking it's the fact that we had so much damp weather and now it's not damp, but it's cold. The sun is out, but it's ridiculously cold for this time of year. Because guess what, guys? Weather in the mountains, it's a little different. Really does. So now my body's got to acclimate. But Heidi, I'm right there with you. We will push through. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. I know how much effort it takes to do anything when you're feeling like that. So my heart goes out to you, honey. I'm glad I'm right in the trenches with you. Cool Gamer, how you doing, honey? Did I say hello? Wait, I feel like I'm missing somebody. Where did he go? Okay, I know that Winning Reality was here. And for some reason, StreamYard is not showing him. It's not showing any of the Wolfram stuff either, which is weird. Because we got Wolfram, hi, honey. I can see you in the live part, but I can't see you in StreamYards. I mean, I could see you once you said hi to Heidi, but that's it. Wow, weird. Let me go over and check the other one. So we're going to say hey to Winning Reality. He'll be here listening and resting his eyes at the same time. Oh, Lord, you're lucky, 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 lucky. He's going to let my soothing feminine voice put him to sleep. Yeah, right. It's the bass in my voice that puts you all to sleep. Wolfram wipes his paws, lopes in and house. See, I had to go to live to go back to see these. I don't know. StreamYards is being weird lately. So weird. Anyway, I digress. I squirreled. It was to be expected. Now I gotta find my place in StreamYards again. God damn it. Anyway, so I don't know who else I'm missing. I'm hopefully not missing anybody, but hi Winning and hi Wolfram. My double W's. The double W's. I crack myself up. Heidi, same here. And front porch sitting. Nice. I enjoy sitting on the front porch, except now we have a Ring camera. So every time you go out onto the porch, it sets off my mother's phone and she starts talking to you through the Ring cam. Like if I wanted to talk to you, mother, I'd be sitting at the table with you, not escaping to the porch. Stop talking to me. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I can't wait to get a hold of her phone so I could turn off the alert. She doesn't know I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. Because that's my whole thing. Like I escape out onto the porch and now I have her voice following me. And if you haven't like heard my mother before, she kind of sounds like this when she talks to me. So she's got the kind of voice. I love my mother, but her voice could bend steel. So I don't need it coming through the Ring cam because then not only is it really, really loud, it's right in my ear because the Ring cam is right next to where I sit on the porch. And it's also distorted. It's already distorted when it leaves my mother. I don't need it to be more distorted. And I don't need her to chase me. What are you doing outside? Wait for me. I'm coming out. God damn it. It's like I can't escape anywhere. But now it's funny because now they have it. Winning was like, you got to change the range. Yeah, no, I'm not changing crap on her phone. Let her deal with it. All the cars that go past, and they're far from the house. When they go past, they set off the Ring alarm. So yesterday, her Ring alarm was going da-da-ding, da-da-ding, all day long. It was so funny. She was like, "It keeps telling me." I was like, "Do you not realize it's the cars? Like the cars set off her little scarecrow buddy, and they set off the thing." Funny enough, but it is funny, Heidi, because it's like, "Oh my god, I got nowhere to go." The next place I'm gonna wind up going is I'm gonna crawl into the basement and go sit with the chickens. Yes, we have chickens in the basement, okay? Because it's too cold outside for them. Because they haven't built the actual physical coop yet, and they're babies. So they're in the basement because when they were up here, the cats are like, that looks, what's the word I'm looking for? Delicious. So it was like, Snips, not so much. Boo? Boo is like, get one of those chickens. I'm going to get one of them. Watch. Well, he's not going to get them now because they're already like his size. These chickens grew quick, and the ducks are humongous. They're humongous. One of the funny things, I have a tattoo of a four-leaf clover on the inside of my left wrist. I got that as in honor of my grandmother because she always used to sing to me, I'm looking over a four-leaf clover. That was the song that heralded spring into my house. And so I always think of her and think of clovers. Um, and when I see clovers again, I think of her. So I got that so that she's always with me. She's on the side with my heart. She's, she might not be my right hand because she's not here, but she's definitely the ruler of how I tend to take care of people. Like she's the one that instilled that in me. So I figured the left side was appropriate. But I had the duck up here the other day. Fredo had my mother's husband had brought the duck up, Nippy, and I was holding him or holding her because we don't know yet. And she kept trying to eat the clover, and I was like, "No." She's nipping at my wrist, nipping at my wrist, and looking at me like, "What the fuck?" And, like, nipping it, and I was like, "Sorry, honey, that's no, it's not real." I was like, "Must be a good tattoo, though, if the duck is trying to eat it." Must have been like, "Oh my god, that's so big." But, yeah, we had a good time. The ducks were they bought the ducks to cheer me up and then put them in the basement, so that kinda defeated the purpose. Because you don't know this about my house, but whoever built it, not entirely sure if they were high all the time, if they had a drinking problem or what. But like the doors open from the wrong side. Like all of the handles are toward the left instead of the right, or if they're supposed to be on the right, they're on the left. The doors open in instead of out, and there's no access to the basement from inside the house. I have to go out on the porch, go all the way around the house, and go in through these double doors. Well, he put an addition, I guess, on the house, like this little shed-like thing attached to the house that you walk in there, then you go down some really steep stone steps with no railing to double doors that go into the basement. And that's a little inconvenient, especially since we can't use the back door or the back porch because the way he built it, he didn't attach it to the house. It's freestanding. So guess what? You step on it and it tends to sway and wobble and oh no. Like that's all I need. Can you imagine your girl steps out there like, "Oh, look, it's so nice." Right through. I'll have broken legs, broken neck, whatever. Yeah, I'm not messing with that. So they have whole plans to tear that down and build a whole deck, which is nice, faster access to the basement, but there's still no inside access to the basement. That drives me crazy. I was like, "Oh my god, when this house is mine, if I stay here, that's the first thing I'm doing." Oh, that's the first thing I'm doing. Root cellar basement access. Yeah, that's what it was. They had the 2, like, the storm doors. So I guess it was like a storm cellar for them. But they built this house in 2004. The house is only 20 years old. Like, literally, I moved into my old apartment, they moved into this house. It's just weird. All the doors now you gotta picture it. These doors are really, really tall. I'm really, really, really short. I can't reach the tops of the doors. Even if I jump, I can't reach the tops of the doors. Hey, Memento. One of the reasons is the frames were built really high, but the doors don't fit the frames. So each door is hung so that there's like an inch of space at the top, which drives me insane, and about 2 to 3 inches at the bottom of every door, which my cats love because they can sit under there and play with one another from each side of the door and like bat, 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 bat. But it makes me crazy because sound, there's no such thing as privacy in this house. There's no such thing as privacy. Everybody can hear what I say, whether I have the doors closed or not. I bought all these like breeze blockers. So some of them were like with adhesive or whatever. And I put them up so that you can't see the light from the next room. It's bizarre, guys. It's really bizarre. I do love the house. I could do so much with this house, but it's not my house yet. So I kind of just have to deal with it. Hold on. I don't know what it is, but the minute I start the show, Boo decides he needs to use the litter box, which unfortunately they made me put in my room because my mother doesn't like litter on the floor in the mud room, where it's supposed to be, dirty and easy to clean. So she made me put it in my room. I'm not happy. Not happy about it all, but it does make sure that I keep that litter box super, super clean. But yeah, he came in here and decided, oh, this is a really good time to use a litter box. And he did it twice. And I think he does it just to be a pain in my ass. because Boo is like that. Anyway, I know I squirreled a whole bunch, but I'm just in a good mood and I'm just feeling chatty. I got a nice wake up call today from a very, very handsome avatar. So that made me happy. So I'm in a very good mood. And my mother and Fredo went to a store somewhere to buy dirt or whatever because she's always planting something. And so they're gone. So I'm in an even better mood. It's like, great, good, goodbye. Memento Mori. Hi, honey. I hope you're feeling better. I hope today is a good day for you. Amp, Andrea, how you doing? Good day, all too short to reach the top. I am. I can't help it. I literally just said to Winning, wait, let me get in the bed because I have to like hop up into my bed because my legs are short. And it's a standard bed, but most beds, unless it's like a really thin mattress, I'm gonna have to hop or I'm gonna have to climb into the bed. And since I had like the phone and I'm like juggling the phone with my bottle of water and everything, I was like, I can't like kneel and get into the bed. So I had to like back up into the bed. Yeah, I can't help it. And that the weird part is when I drive, I don't go up on the steering wheel. My chair is pushed all the way back. When my mother gets in the car after I've used the car, she's like, "How the hell do you drive?" We are the same height. We're actually not. She's got an inch on me. Maybe not now, but she used to. And she's like, she gets in, she sits up on the steering wheel. I can't drive like that. I just can't. I have to be far back. But she's like, "How do you see the road?" I see it. Like, I don't have to see every inch of the road in front of me, mother. Like, I can tell distance. She's not good at that. My mother's the one of those people that rides the brake the whole freaking time. And I'm just like, "Ma, don't use 2 feet. Don't use 2 feet. Ma, stop using 2 feet." It drives me insane. I'm like, "Do you have any idea what you're doing to your car? Please stop. Please. You're hurting my heart." Doo, 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 doo. So who we got here? We got, like I said, we got Memento. Les, hi, honey. Awesome. Andrew thinks it's funny that I can't reach the top of the door. I can't reach a lot of things in this house. I go in the kitchen, I look up, and I'm like, Connor, because he's the tallest one in the house. His head now almost hits the top of the door frame when you come in from the porch. Granted, that's the shortest, and that's another weird thing. That's the shortest door in the entire house. Like it's the most low hanging door. But still, his head reaches the overhang. And I'm like, wow. I was like, I look at him and I'm like, you used to fit just in the crook of my arm. I used to be able to just hold on to I used to put him up on my shoulder and he just fit there. He would just wrap around my neck and you barely even had to hold him. I mean, I always did, but barely at all. So I was like, ugh. And he's just so big now. It's so sad. Uh, I mean, I'm happy that he's, big. I'm glad he's not like, stunted or anything, but he's gonna be 18 in a little over a month. Like, I can't first of all, kudos to me. I raised 2 kids. I didn't think I was capable of that, to be perfectly honest. Because when you set out, you just look at how long it's gonna be before they're grown and a little self-sufficient, and you're just like, "Oh my god, it's forever." But 20, 30 years passed in the blink of an eye. Katie's gonna be 30 in June. She's 29 years old. I'm like, "How the hell do I have a 29-year-old? That doesn't seem right." Because I remember vividly just turning 29, like, the other day. Like, I remember that. But apparently it was a long freaking time ago. Uh, they're so big, though, and I look at them and I still see them as being kids. I still talk to them sometimes like they're kids. I've always talked to them like they're little adults, but I don't view them like having relationships and all that. I want that for them, but I can't imagine it. I just can't because 'cause they're my babies. They're always gonna be my babies. They don't get that. They're like, "I'm grown, I'm this," and I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, whatever." It's like when I tell my mother, "Stop telling me what Ma, I'm 50." She's like, Yeah, but now I still think if he's a teenager, I'm like, well, that's nice, but my bones have something else to say about that. Like, my body is not 50. My mind is not 50. Let it go. Like, let me grow up. And she just doesn't want to. Um, so ladies all caught up to live. That's good. Heidi said, sounds like they salvaged and rebuilt an old basement. I mean, it's a beautiful, like, it's an unfinished basement. He's got a couple rooms that are finished. Um, but I think this guy used it as an escape from his wife and his kid because he really was just he did not know how to fix things, but he was always tinkering with stuff down there. And he's got a quote unquote workshop down there where he did like woodworking and like all sorts of he had tons of machinery and everything down there. And he left some of it for Fredo, but I told my mother, I said the way he fixed things, he was the worst DIYer ever. Ever. Like, I'm walking around going, "Oh god, like, how did he install these doorknobs? How did he do this? How did he do that?" Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I really, really wish that he would have, like, done some YouTube research or something because I think he just did it on the fly and was like, "I could figure this out. How about no? How about no?" But anyway, I love my house. We're just we're fixing things as we go. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, honey. Coffee on me, T3. Well, you know what we have for that? I have something brandy new made for you. Well, made for me by Winning Reality himself. Get ready. It's Wolfram. Are you paying attention? Boobies. How do you like that? That was a good one, right? Those are some good boobies. Good boobies. Thank you so much. Thank you, Andrew, for the coffee. I appreciate that. I do. I can't. I want Starbucks in the worst way. I haven't had Starbucks in like 3 months. No, 2 months. It's been 2 months, but I'm happy with the house coffee. But I really want one of those the caramel frappuccino whatever lattes. I don't know. I was talking to one of my favorite 14-year-olds who, he's just my little buddy. And we found out we like the same kind of coffee. I was like, "Oh my god." He was like, "Yes, that one. That's the one I like." My son likes it too, but he's like, "I don't like drinking coffee. It puts me to sleep." He's so ADHD. Oh my goodness. You give him a cup of coffee, he's like, "Night, night." He goes, knocks right out. That's why he won't drink it. Um, Angie, she's helped so many. Who's helped so many? Shelly, oh, me? Aw, thank you. Oh, that was really sweet. Thank you very much for saying that. I don't look for the pat on the head, but I appreciate it because I need it. I really do. But thank you very much for the $20 Aussie super chat. I love Aussie super chats. I don't know why I get a kick out of getting the different currencies. It's weird. Like there's so many like the Korean stuff and like whatever. It's so strange to see the conversion of like the amounts. I forget who somebody sent some type of thing that was like 10,000 whatever and everybody's like all and we're like look at the letters. Yeah, but it was so funny cuz it wound up being something like $5 in US dollars and I was like I don't know if that's a bad reflection on their economy or ours because the conversion rate is changing rapidly and it's narrowing, which I don't think is good, but it's like whatever. But yeah, I always get a kick out of that. I don't know. I enjoy looking them up and finding out like what comes from where and how much it is and what it means. Uh yeah, M33. Only thing low hanging here are my boobies. Oh, stop it. Do your boobs hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Can you tie 'em in a knot? Can you tie 'em in a bow? Can you throw 'em over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your boobs hang low? That was just for you. See, you send a super chat and you get a song. There you go. Uh, seen any South Africans lately? Poor Heidi. You guys are funny. Well, from Yes, We Exist in the Cat's World to serve them. I mean, my cats, they're just so spoiled. So spoiled. Do you know that if there's an empty chair at the table, they will jump up into the chair and sit and look at you like, what are we talking about? What are we doing? What's going on? They have to be included in everything. Boo was so insistent on being included the other day. He jumped up on the back of my chair and then tried to like be all cool about it and like wash himself while he was on the back of the chair. I was like, stupid. Sure enough, he fell. My mother was hysterical. She was like, his face was comical. I was like, yeah, I wish I had it on video. One thing that happens when you become a creator, everything is content. Every time they tell me something, I'm like, did you record it? Did you record it? What is wrong with you people? You should have your finger on that video every minute of the day. Because if something funny happens, I want to exploit it. What is wrong with you? Like, I mean, just you're not helpful at all. I mean, people around here, they just don't do what they should do. Do the thing. Make the noise. Lady Awesome, I can't believe it either. My first set of twins are 18 and the oldest is in her late 20s too. We made it, Shelly. Yeah. I'm like, oh, good. You're going to be 18. So if you screw up now, I can't go to jail for it. Isn't it terrible that that's something I have to think about? I'm just, you don't know, like the last couple of years, I'm like, Connie, just remember no matter what happens, just never swing first. Be nice. Don't look aggressive because if you get in trouble, I get in trouble. Like I can't be there to fight for you if I'm trying to fight for myself at the same time. Just hold on. Just hold on till you're an adult and then we'll see what happens. But one of us has to be out here to pay bail. Like just one of us. And that actually made sense to him. He was like, "Yeah, like that's so stupid that they're holding like parents responsible for what like their grown kids are doing." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, uh, I'm in Northwest, 2 hours plus north of there. She's nearer to me. She's a lot nearer to me than most people, and she's certainly nearer to me than I am to my old hometown. So Heidi is near to me. I believe Wolfkinder is near to me. I believe, maybe not. Maybe not. I can't remember. You know how my memory is. It's reordered sometimes, and I know Amber L is close near me. So we got a whole group of Pennsylvania, Ohio people, and of course T-Rex. T-Rex is not overly far. He could probably be here in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Uh, Angie said, my granddaughter turned 16 this year. Only seems like yesterday I was watching her come into the world. Yep. Yep. Lady should be knighted. She's got 2 sets of twins and an extra. So it's that's a lot. I can't imagine having 1 set of twins and then like raising them up. They're almost out the door, and you're like, oh, good. Oh, here's your second set. What? Like, what did I do to deserve that? I mean, I know they're a blessing, but it's daunting when you're told. It is. It's daunting, like, to be told, "Oh, you're having twins." Like, "What?" Like, I could barely take care of myself, and then you were giving me 1 extra kid. Now I got 2 at the same time with the same needs that look alike and whatever. Nope, nope, no, 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 no. I mean, sometimes they don't look exactly alike, but still, twins have that weird kismet with one another that they always, like, they just act different. They're on a whole other level. And I miss my twin. I mean, I know I say she's here in spirit and everything, but physically I miss her because we could have done some damage in this world. Just imagine, guys, I had an identical twin sister. Identical. So there'd be 2 of me. And what if I'm the good one? And my mother brings that up all the time. She's like, "Oh God, what if you were the good one?" I'm like, well, there's a reason the other one went home. Like, because she, and I mean, every every clairvoyant, every psychic, every fortune teller, anybody who's ever picked up on her presence, just and I've had people stop me on the street and say, "Do you know you have a doppelganger spirit following you?" And I'm like, "What?" And I just pretend like I'm stupid. But they all say she's super aggressive. Super aggressive. And it stands to reason because until I came back with her when I was 16, I was very docile, very girly, very soft spoken. Like, yeah, I did the tomboy thing because I had mostly male friends because we didn't have a lot of girls in my neighborhood. Um, but for the most part, I was very soft spoken. I never talked out of turn. I was very quiet. If you pushed me around, you got to push me around because I was just like, okay, I was very wilting flower. And then I left this coil, mortal coil for a few minutes and came back super aggressive and ready to fight anything and everybody and super tough. And my grandma was like, "What the hell happened to you?" And she was like, "You're like a totally different person." Yeah. And it never occurred to me until I had this clairvoyant dude. Like, he was just sitting there and he was like, "Oh my God, do you know that you have like a duplicate?" And she's like in my face telling me to leave you the F alone. He was like, "She's threatening." He was like, "A spirit is threatening me." I was like, "Oh." He was like, "And you have an older woman who's like wrapped around your ankles and won't let go." And I was like, "Yeah, that would be my grandmother." I mean, I didn't tell him that, but in my head, I was like, "Yeah, it's grandma." I was like, "She's never gonna let go. I'm just gonna hold it like one of those little toddlers that wraps themselves around their parents' calf, and they're just like, nope, and they sit on your foot, and you just have to kind of walk around with them on you like a koala bear." Yeah, that's what my grandmother was like. And then to have my sister like just sitting, like he said, I appeared just like myself when I, got there and I sat down, everything was normal. And as soon as he asked me a question that made me a little uncomfortable, she jutted forward and he said he could see like the two of me separate. And she jutted forward and was like ready to attack. And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." And he was like, "What?" I was like, "It just that makes sense." And I mean, this guy knew nothing about me. I had no jewelry on. I had nothing identifiable. I didn't tell him my name, didn't give him an initial, a birthday, nothing. I literally walked in and he was like, "You." I was like, "What?" And he was full of information. And a lot of it was really good. A lot of it was hilarious, though. He did tell me that the person that I was with in my life at the time had been in my life through many um incarnations, and in each one had killed me. And I was like, "Uh, okay." He was like, "Yeah, you might wanna think of being in a different relationship because this person is clearly not good for you." I was like, "Okay." He was like, "But it's the first time that you were a woman on this earth, so it's fine. Maybe it was because you were a man before." I was like, "Okay, so you're telling me that I've lived all my lives as men." Okay, I doubt it, but okay. I mean, I was just glad he didn't tell me I was some fucking, like, Cleopatra or something. Why is it every time somebody regresses and does, like, their past lives, there's somebody famous? Why couldn't you be Joe the lawnmower guy? Why not? Maybe you were a bird. I mean, is that out of the realm of possibility? What if you were, I don't know, a tree? Trees are living. Maybe you were a tree in another life and you worked your way up. I don't know. But why is it always somebody famous? You couldn't be the chambermaid? You couldn't have been, oh, I don't know, like, oh, you lived to be a toddler and then you started over. Like, why? And it's always a long legacy that they leave behind them. And it's like, dude, I know damn well I am not that special that I was Cleopatra or, according to this guy, Julius Caesar or Mark Antony or whatever. Like, because he said I was male in the past lives. But why? Why is it always somebody famous? Why not Joe Schmo? I don't get it because there are a whole lot more Joe Schmoes than Alexander the Greats. They're just, oh, well, this way you have some frame of reference. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be leading anybody into battle. Okay. In this life or any other. I'm going to squirrel a lot today because I'm in a good mood. Heidi, my 3 are early to late 20s. I hear you. Yep. I love it. I love it. Heidi, on an old basement. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this was coal mining area. Like there's tons and tons of caves that my mother's husband found when he went like looking around for like good hunting areas. Cause that's what he's doing. Right now he's just scoping out where he's gonna go hunting. And my mother's like, oh, he's always going for you leave him alone. Let him go look for his hunting spots. Cause I want deer meat, damn it. I want freezers full of deer meat. Fuck that. There's no shame in my game. People are like, "Oh, you would kill Bambi?" Yes, Bambi is tasty as hell. Okay, if I'm gonna, I'd kill Charlotte. Not Charlotte. Who was the pig? Was Charlotte the pig or the? No, Charlotte was the spider. I would definitely kill Charlotte. But pigs, I don't care. Pigs are good eating. Chickens, friggin' cows. Hell, you want roasted goat? I don't care. If it tastes good and it's high in protein and it's gonna make me better, I'ma eat it. Okay? That's just the way it is. And if it's free, it's for me. Because the deer, there's tons of them. We're doing a service when you hunt because otherwise they overpopulate, they get hit by cars, they cause accidents. You don't want that. And here, my brother literally had a deer jump over the hood of his truck while he was driving. Freaked him out. And then right after that one jumped, a second one jumped, and Katie missed them both. Katie has yet to see a deer here. She waits. She goes out on the porch. It's so cute. She goes out and she sits there and she just, and she'll sit there for hours and just wait and wait. And we keep telling her they don't come out during the daytime. There's too many cars. There's too much sunlight. They don't want you to see them. They're going to come out either very, very early morning before like during twilight when the sun is coming up, or very late at night when the sun is going down. That's when you're going to see them. And of course, she misses them every time. Literally, they were across the street and she didn't see them. I legit like 50 feet from my door. That Fredo was just like, oh, if I could just move and go get the crossbow. It's right there. It's right. The crossbow doesn't even make a sound. Like, like nobody would be like, a gunshot. You're not like that here anyway, because the gunshots there's a lot of target practice and whatever. The first time we heard somebody like shooting off in the woods, my mother was like, oh my God, what is that? I was like, you live in the mountains. If you don't hear gunfire, I'd be surprised. I'd be worried. I'd be worried. My town only has 2,700 people in it. Mind you, the town is really laid out, like it's spread out. So there's a lot of land. And I'm coming from a 1 mile square town that had 55,000 people in it at the last census. There were more because they keep building. But last count, it was 55,000 in 1 square mile. Now I'm at 2,700 for like, I don't know, like, I think it's like a 6 or 7 miles, like long and then wide. But I mean, it's a lot of area. So, I mean, it's so weird to not see people constantly. There's like 10, maybe 12 people that walk past my house on a daily basis, and every single one of them has been really friendly. Like, not overly friendly where they come over and talk to me because I don't wanna be approachable, but they wave, "Hey, how you doing?" Whatever. They see the flag out front, they're like, "Ah, yeah, 2024." Yeah, we know. But it's really nice here, they're very friendly. The postage people are the UPS, FedEx, and the, post office lady, the postal service worker, whatever the hell, mail carrier, there you go. They're all very nice. They come onto the porch, they leave the packages on the porch, they, look in the window and wave, and I'm just like, "Yeah, hi." But I really do have to bake them cookies. But my mother's like, don't bake them cookies. I'm baking cookies. She baked cookies. And they're okay. I had one. A little crispy for my taste. But they haven't had my cookies. And she knows how much better my cookies are, which is why she's like, "No, don't bake, I'll bake." So, sure. The first time I make them a cheesecake or anisette toast, that I'm never gonna be allowed to stop baking. So if they want me to wait, I'll wait. Andrea said, "Such a happy voice since you stopped swimming with hot tub." With boiled amphibians? Yes, you're right. You're right, you're right. That's because I got out of, like, distorted reality and I joined winning reality. There you go. Play the new super chat. I did. Don't boss me around. Okay. Actually, I like it when he bosses me around, but that's all right. Naughty at winning reality. Oh, goodness. All righty. So Andrea sent another super chat. Thank you so much. Another 10 Aussie bucks for winning. Of course, it's for winning. Let's see. Here we go. Boobies. I just realized that the sound that he plays in the background is the exact sound you would hear if somebody was motorboating and trying to talk. Just that. I think that's awesome. See, he's so good. So good. One more time. You hear it now, right? You can't unhear it, just so you know. You can't unhear it. So that was for the $10 Aussie super chat. Thank you so much, Andrew. And that was for winning. All righty. Just to get that super chat in there, just to get that played. See, I've been asking him for a while for that, but he's been really, really busy doing like all new shows and everything. But he took some time and made that for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you, sweetie. Uh oh, Springfield, yeah. Girl, I went to the doctor to only rule out being pregnant before I started wait. Girl, I went to the doctor to only rule out being pregnant before I started treating what I thought was perimenopause. Surprise! See, lady, that's why I don't go to doctors because they always find shit I don't want to know about. I was like, mm-mm. That's hilarious. Damn, that doctor's still living. Could you imagine going in? You're like, oh my God, menopause is right around the corner. I'm almost done. I stopped getting my period. It's so great, doc. I must be entering into it. Yeah, no, you're pregnant. Be like, what? What? You ain't funny. This is no time for jokes, you bastard. That when my mother found out she was pregnant with me and my sister, she thought that she had an ulcer because she had such bad indigestion and she was getting pains. And she went to the doctor and he was like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm." And she was like, "Oh, do I have to have surgery?" He was like, "No, it'll resolve itself." And she was like, "But how long?" He was like, "About 6, 7 months." She was like, "Oh my God, why so long?" He was like, "You don't have an ulcer, Marianne. You're pregnant." What? She was like, "What?" Because she was planning on leaving my father at the time. And of course, she popped out pregnant. And my grandmother was like, "Oh, see, no, you can't divorce him now. You're going to have a baby." So I threw a wrench in the works, whatever. Lady said I was over 40. My other set of twins were 13 in the 8th grade, and my oldest was 23. I could see the finish line. Yeah, that's when you say you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then you realize it's an oncoming train. hmm That's happened to me quite a few times. Quite a few times. I did not think I was going to have any kids other than Katie. None of them. Um, I really thought she was it for me because, she was a handful. She was a lot to deal with. And, I was in a marriage that wasn't going anywhere. And then I was out of a marriage and I was on my own and taking care of her. And I just figured she was it. And then I had that one encounter and fertile myrtle I was. I couldn't believe it. And everybody's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're gonna do this. How are you gonna I'll manage. I'll manage." We were talking about it the other day, me and my 2 kids, and I was like, "You know what?" I said, You might have been a surprise to Connor because he knows." I said, "But you were the best surprise." I said, "'Cause I wanted tons of kids." I said, "I'm just happy I have 2 and that they're one of each." And he was like, "But what if we weren't one of each?" I was like, "Oh, no, no." I said, "See, God likes to mess with me once in a while." I said, "But he knew both times exactly what I wanted, and in both times I got exactly what I wanted because it was the opposite of what the father wanted. Miguel wanted a boy, Eddie wanted another girl, and I was like, "See, no." With Katie, I was like, "I will never give Miguel a son because I'll never be rid of him." He, ugh, good God, because he didn't have a son yet, so that would have been his firstborn son, and would have been a big freaking deal, and he would have named him just like he named his other son, Miguel, because of course they always name them after themselves. And I was like, "See, no. See, God loves me, so I'm gonna have a girl." And he was like, "I'm praying for a boy." "Yeah, but God don't like you." I was like, "God don't like ugly." I was thinking he don't like lazy, so I'm having a girl. Sure enough, when I went for that ultrasound, they're like, "Girl." I was like, "Told you." I was so happy. And then with Connor, I was like, "I want a boy. I want a boy." Because, um, his dad is a big dude. And I was like, any kid I have is gonna be like a bruiser. I was like, I don't want to put that on a girl. I was like, I'd rather have a boy. I need a boy. I'm not gonna have any more babies after this. I just know it. So I need a boy. And when he finally I think I was what, like almost 6 months when he finally decided to show. Because he would hide himself and be like, "Nope, you can't look. Nope, you can't." Every ultrasound, "Nope, nope, not telling you." And I was like, "He's gotta be a boy because he's a fucking ball buster. There's like there's no way." And then when they finally saw it, they're like, "Oh," he was like, "Ta-da!" He literally rolled over in the ultrasound, opened his legs, and then waved. And I was my friend Vicky she said, "Did that little son of a bitch just wave at us?" I was like, "He sure did." And he was just like, "Ta-da! Here it is. Here's my little peepee." And they were like, "It's a boy." I was like, "I can see that." I was like, I didn't need a technician to show me that. I can see that. But yeah, he was a little showboat inside. Um, Connor was my super active baby. Like Katie moved around. Katie got the hiccups a lot, which for a first pregnancy is very strange because you're laying there and then all of a sudden everything jumps and then it jumps and you're like, that's very rhythmic. Why is it doing that? Until you realize, oh my God, my baby has the hiccups. And they get the hiccups, y'all, for like anywhere from 2 minutes to an hour. And it's just like, all right. And she always got the hiccups the minute I started to fall asleep. Never failed. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, you've been asleep? Because when you move, when you're walking, and all I ever did was walk, 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 walk when I was pregnant with Katie, she would go to sleep from the rocking motion of me walking. And I would lay down it because I'd be exhausted because I've been out walking all damn day. And I'd lay down and she'd wake up because now it's all still. And then she'd get the hiccups. And then she'd roll over and she'd kick or she'd stretch. Katie had a thing about stretching. She used to push my stomach all the way out and you could see her whole foot. Just the whole thing. I used to be like, really? She didn't like anything on my belly either. If I put like the remote or a cup of something, she would kick it off. The kids used to put stuff on my stomach just to watch her kick it off. Connor didn't care. Connor was the baby that didn't like warm baths. So if I took a warm bath, he would move all the way up and I'd be like, son of a bitch. Because he would move up and so everything would move up. Like my stomach would go up, my chest would go up, so my boobs would be like under my chin. I'd be like, really? I'd try to like put, and I'd have to get out and be like, all right, no bath for me. It's shower time. He loves showers, but baths, no. He used to go above the waterline. It was just like, great. Thanks a lot, kid. Like they were quirky. They were quirky. But I loved every moment of being pregnant. Even the morning sickness, I've figured out how to fix that. But I loved being pregnant right up until those last 2 weeks. Those last 2 weeks, and ladies, I know you'll vouch for me, you just sit there going, "Get it out. Get it out. Get it out." I can't see anything. I can't move. I'm peeing every 2 seconds and nothing's coming out. So it's like I can't walk anywhere. Everything hurts. Get the baby out. Just get it out. Just get it. It's fine. It'll survive. It'll be great. When can I have this baby? You wake up in the morning going, "Please let today be the day. Please let today be the day." Which is weird because you know what? It's a lot easier to carry them when they're still inside because they don't require changing, they don't cry, you don't have to wake up or go to sleep with them, you don't have to, feed them. Everything is just automatic, and it's a handy carrying case and everything. But no, you just like get this baby out. Get the I My stomach cannot get bigger. I can't sit anywhere. Like, it hurts to sit, it hurts to stand, it hurts to walk. Like, you blink and you're like, "Oh my god, that made me so tired." Like, you just want the baby out. And you're like, "I hope it's healthy, but get it out." Like, "Oh, I can't wait to see the baby." Get it out. But yeah, I did. I love being pregnant. I miss the fact that I could even do it anymore. Like, part of it is relaxing because it's like, okay, no matter what I do, I'm not gonna be like, "Oh my god, am I pregnant?" But and I granted, I'm me, so I can't completely rule that out, but there were those, like, in my 20s that I was just like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna get pregnant. Oh my god, I'm gonna get pregnant." Like, I was like, "Please, God, please, I already have the one. Please do not make me pregnant. I cannot have another child with this retard." Like, I just can't. Or, "Okay, I'm being a little, fast and loose today, God. Like, just please don't do this to me." And then that dreaded waiting for your friend to show up and drop, and it's just like, do, 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 like, "My period's a day late, I better not be pregnant. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." That was nerve-wracking. It was nerve-wracking. And then your period come down, you'd be like, "Yes! God damn it, I got my period." It's such a it's such a weird kind of thing. See, men will never understand this, and men who pretend that they're women will never understand why we're as neurotic as we are, because you're waiting for it to come down, waiting for it to come down. You celebrate when it does because it means you're not pregnant, and then you're instantly pissed off because you got your friend, and now I got 3 to 5 to 7 days of hell to go through. It's just like, ugh. So we're never happy. It's not that we're moody, guys. It's that, our situations are multifaceted. You guys just don't understand the nuances of being a woman and everything that goes with it. So you just don't get it. We're not like crazy. We're not like super moody. It's just we're reactive to our situations, and our situations are very complex. So there. Uh, the doctor said, "Do I need to call somebody because you have no reaction?" Oh, honey, I'm literally picturing you sitting there on that like weird little table, just looking at him, just blinking. Like, "What'd you say? What the hell you just said?" "Say it again. I dare you. I dare you." But yeah, just you ever see the cartoons where you hear the blink, 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 blink? That was Lass. She's just sitting there and haven't had an out of body experience. I think that's hilarious. And just in the pic of your face in that moment would be priceless. I mean, seriously. Come on now. I would be like, um, no, I heard you wrong. What?" Mm-mm. I think I'd probably faint. And I'm not big on fainting, but I think that would probably do me in. Yeah. Am said koalas bite. So do toddlers. Have you ever had a toddler wrap themselves around your leg and not take a bite? Because usually the ones that are the clingers are the ones that are the biters as well. See, I didn't bite when I was little. I bit, but then my mother bit me back, and I didn't bite after that because apparently, like, I was hanging from my brother slash cousin's chest by my teeth. And my mother was so upset about it that she bit me super hard. And I never bit again. I mean, unless they asked for it, but that was an adult. And I'm much more precise. Last said, thank goodness my mother-in-law went to my first appointment because they took me straight to the ultrasound room because they said I was 20 weeks along. And when I saw more than one, I just cried. She was so happy. My mother-in-law was happy. I mean, you were happy too after the shock wore off, I'm sure. But oh god, can you imagine going with your mother-in-law and she's like, "You're having twins," and you're sitting there going, "I'm having twins. Holy crap!" Like why? Why? That's funny. Well, from just like trying one of those family heritage sites based on your name, you end up being some royalty in Europe. Yes, exactly. The whole past lives thing. Yeah, no. Instead, I wind up being friggin' Nordic. It's like, how the hell? Oh, you're part Danish, part Finnish, part this, part that, and part Greek, and a little bit of, North African. It's like, oh, okay, and a little West Asian. Oh, okay. Like one of them came up saying I had Mesopotamian DNA. I was like, oh, goody. Don't we all? Like, isn't that basically like where we all came from before everybody spread out? Like, what did mine linger? I don't know. Like, it's just weird. I just said it's a blessing for sure, but I can imagine the shock. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Be like, nope, nope, nope. I didn't hear la 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 la. That's when you put your fingers in your ears, close your eyes, you shake your head, and you sing like clang, 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 clang with the trolley. Because you're like, nope, not listening. Most definitely blessings. All my pregnancies were surprises. Absolutely. All the best gifts are surprises. I had a friend that used IVF and had 2 children, then got a surprise the doctor said couldn't happen. Yep, yep. Don't mind me, can't type autocorrect. That's all right, honey. I read typees. Save the tatas. Pete Digits. How you doing, honey? How you been? How far behind? Oh, I'm only like, what, less than 15 minutes behind. Woohoo, look at me. I haven't started the topic yet, but whatever. We take the wins where we can get them. Iron Rabbit, hi, honey. How are you? I hope you're well. I hope everybody's well. Amp saying hi. You guys are so sweet to one another. Sending love to Shelly T3 in chat. I got a $2 super chat from Iron Rabbit. You know what that means. Oh, we're really going to use this today. Here we go. Thank you so much, Iron Rabbit. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for all the love. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel. Those boobies needed support. You saw that last set of them? Hacha. Thanks again for being here, honey. I'm glad you're hanging out. You're tired? Aw. I mean, I hope you're resting. I hope you're taking care of yourself too. Don't be skipping meals, woman, just because you don't feel good. You need the fuel. Come on now. Heidi, especially when they're 4 days late. My youngest, yeah. See, I had my kids right on, like, not on my due dates, but within like 2 days of my due dates. But I went into labor with my daughter in my 7th month. So I had 2 months of contractions and taking breathing to stop them without any baby. And I was like, I'm like, I'm going through 2 months of pain and no baby yet. So it's just like, when it came time, I was like, can I get her out? Can she just get out? Because now I'm like freaking huge. She's huge. Like, can we just get her out? When Katie was born, she was 7.5 pounds. She was 7 pounds 9 ounces and 20 and a half inches long. When I had Connor, Connor was 8 pounds, 9 ounces, and he was 22 inches long. So he was a big baby and he had this big head. That's why they did the C-section because they swore I was going to have like a 14-pound baby. They were like, there's no way. And when they measured his head in the ultrasound, they were like, there's no way. And I was like, no, I wanted to have him. That they were like, no. They're like, there's no way his head is, he'll break you. There's no way. And I was like, okay, because Katie, she had tons of time to like, her head was all cone shaped when she came out, but she was a lot smaller and a lot more petite than he was. He came out this big, like jacked up bruiser, like boom, like and this big round head. And both my kids were born with tons of hair on their head, tons. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, did you know?" I knew. I was like, I had no doubt that I was gonna have babies with tons of hair. How'd you know? Because the indigestion was real. Like it was a struggle from the moment I conceived these children. And it was. They were, oh, good God. But they so much hair on their head. Both hers was super curly, his was pin straight, which was weird because then like hers settled down and his got curly. But yeah, they both wound up with mostly my hair. I gotta yell 1 sec. I forgot to close my door. That's why I can hear them. I hope you can't hear them, but he's having fun. But yeah, no, I can't imagine going that much over like, I had friends who were, like, 2 weeks past their due date, and I'm like, "You miscalculated or something." They're like, "I've been pregnant 42 freaking weeks. I'm so done." I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm sorry." I remember thinking that I could move around when I was pregnant with Katie like I did before I was pregnant, and I got on the floor to get something from under the couch, and I started screaming and crying because I couldn't get back up. My center of gravity had changed so much. I had no idea how to get off the floor. None at all. And there was nothing to like hold on to. They had to come in and like lift me up off onto my feet. But it was just like, I can't get up. I mean, I tried like rolling over, nothing worked. Like, because rolling over is the worst thing. You literally look like a turtle on its back. You're just like, somebody help me, somebody flip me over or something. Lady said I was talking to my uncle who's a doctor about menopause, and he told me, well, just make sure you're not pregnant before you start treating whatever you think it is. Smart man. So I went to the health department to get a doctor pregnancy test done. And when the nurse came back and told me she was worried for me, even told me to take a picture of the test to show my husband. Aw. Then made an appointment with my doctor. I didn't want to pay for a doctor visit for a negative pregnancy test. Well, little did I know. All my kids were born with hair. No worries. We don't hear any background. Awesome. That's good. But yeah, I mean, each time I was just like, oh my goodness, no, I can't be pregnant. With Katie, I wasn't supposed to be able to get pregnant. The doctor said it was impossible. Everything was too messed up. But apparently, when God wants you to have a baby, you're going to have a baby. And then every pregnancy after that just didn't work out. So I didn't want to be attached when I found out I was pregnant with Connor because I was afraid because I'd lost every baby, after Katie. And I didn't want to do it. I was like, no, because what if? But yet, like, I'm sitting there looking at this plethora of pregnancy tests because my mother does overkill. She was like, I got you like 5. She got me like, I think there were like a total of 9 pregnancy tests. I was like, yeah, I have to pee on all of these. She was like, yes, take them all. They were all positive. And we didn't have to wait 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Nope. It was like pee on the stick, line. Crap. I was like, whatever this is, it's not going anywhere. Like, I had that feeling. And she was like, no, well, it's probably early. I was like, early? It's like 4 weeks. Because I knew the minute my period didn't come down, I was like, oh no, I'm pregnant. I was like, no, that can't be. I was like, y'all, I mean, personal TMI, but I literally only had sex one time the entire year. I'm not talking about that calendar year. I'm talking about within 12 months, like one time for 3 minutes, and I'm pregnant. That's how quickly I get pregnant. When God wants you to do something, you do it. And I just remember sitting there looking at all the tests going, no, this is the one. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what Katie's 9. She's done with her surgeries for right now. This is the perfect time for me. And I was thrilled. I was terrified, but I was thrilled. And my mother said, "Oh my God, what are you gonna do?" I was like, "What am I'm gonna have a baby." Like I don't understand where the confusion is. Like pregnant, baby. Like that's how that goes. You're gonna go through of course I'm gonna go. What is wrong with you? Like I've been waiting for so long, wishing I had more babies. And then did you think I was gonna just wish it away? Like, no. And I did. I got attached very, very quickly. And it helps that your second, like, pregnancy, when you carry beyond, like, that 3-month mark, you tend to pop early. With Katie, it took forever for me to start showing. I mean, I was about 5 months before you could, like, look at me in, like, regular clothes. If I had a coat on, forget it. You would never know I was pregnant. But, like, for her to actually, like, pop from my belly to pop out, it took till I was about 5.5 months. And then after that, it was like, like somebody just blew me up overnight with an air hose. But for Connor, by the time when I hit 14 weeks, I had the little pooch that went boop. And I was like, I was like, belly. I was like, my belly button's gone. I was like, because I didn't have like my little indent. It was just flat. And I was like, oh, I was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God, please let there only be one. Because at that point, like the ultrasound picked up one heartbeat, but we didn't have the visual ultrasound yet. And when I went at 16 weeks, they were like, no, there's only one. I was like, check again. Just make sure. I was like, because I'm like a lot bigger than I was with my daughter. They're like, yeah, that's because the muscles, they don't have the strength they had before. I was like, well, that sucks for me. I was like, but it's been like a decade. Like, aren't they like back in shape by now? They're like, yeah, no. Like every time you get pregnant now, I was like, every time, this is it. Like, this is it. Unless I like miraculously meet like the man of my dreams and get, married in the next, oh, I don't know, 2 years. This is it. Like, this is the end of the line for my baby making days. But yeah, I popped really, and I got so attached. I used to sing to my belly, play music for it. I would sit there and like make little like circles with my fingers on my bellies to like give him some kind of like sensory input. Maybe that's why he still does that. If I do like a circle on my son's back, he freezes, and he goes into like this weird euphoric zone where nothing matters to him but just keep doing it. Oh, that's so relaxing. I'm like, it's like his off switch. He just like, you watch the whole mechanism just relax and become a pile of goo. And he's just like, that felt so good. I'm gonna take a nap. You do that. That's why he doesn't let me do that. It's his weakness. I told him that's your Achilles heel. He was like, no, it's my back. Such a jerk. He said the semantics game is real with him. You can help. Lady Olsen said, they say it's because your body knows what to do, so you get bigger sooner after your first pregnancy. Well, that's what the lady, she was like, oh, your muscles, like your stomach muscles for your pregnancy, it splits. And yes, it goes back together, but as soon as it gets that pressure from inside, it's like, oh, we got baby again, and it just separates. I was like, oh, because I didn't have that dark line for my son, but I had it when I had my daughter, when I was pregnant with my daughter. That little dark line that goes from your belly button up to your breastbone, to your sternum. I had that for Katie, but I didn't have it for Connor. It was weird. But then again, my boobs tripled in size for Katie and they didn't for Connor. So, I mean, maybe the thyroid thing had something to do with it. But that leads very nicely into where we were talking about moods and stuff. I know a lot of people get like postpartum depression. A lot of women get postpartum depression. I didn't have that. I don't know if it's because I didn't have time to have that or just because I've dealt with bouts of depression my entire life. So it just didn't strike me as being different. Maybe like it was just like, oh, I'm in a blue mood. Like, whatever. Push through. Baby needs a bottle. Like, I didn't get like that. And with Connor, I was literally euphoric all the time. Like it was annoying to some people because I'd go to work and I'm like, I'm chasing after these little kids with this big belly, and I'm like, I'm out of breath and I have morning sickness because I had morning sickness until the end of my 5th month with Connor. And I'm running around and whatever, and they're like, "You're so happy. Aren't you tired?" I'm like, "No, I wasn't tired at all." I was never tired when I was pregnant with Connor. I was always energetic and awake and cheerful, which was very, very different than before I got pregnant because I was always tired, depressed, and angry. And then I got pregnant with him and I was like this whole other person. And he laughs because I'm like, "You saved my soul." And he's like, "Whatever." He doesn't realize that he really did. Like his soul was so pure at a time where my soul had turned so dark that he literally just cleansed me of all that darkness and anger and anguish and torment. And he was my sunshine. I've always called him my sunshine because he brought light into my life unlike anybody ever has before. And it was effortless, and he still does. But just as easily as he could bring me this beaming, beautiful, sunlight, he can throw me into the darkest of despair. And it all depends on his mood. Depends on his mood where I'm going to go because he can play me like a fiddle. And I love it when he turns that sunshine on, but man, when he's in a mood, and my mother, the other day, she goes, "I don't know why you're upset with him." I was like, "Why?" She was like, "'Cause he's you." And I just looked at her, I said, "Really? That's how you see me?" She was like, "Oh no, that's you." She's like, "When everything's fine and you're in a good mood, everybody benefits." She's like, "But man, you get your feelings hurt or you don't get your way or whatever, and you just turn." She's like, "Or you just wake up with them twisted and you're just a demon." I was like, "Great, thanks, ma." I was like, "I appreciate that." And the thing is, like, I never thought that I was like that. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't know. She tends to hold on to stuff. But I was like, man, what if he is just like me? What if I do that and don't realize it? So I'm trying to be a little bit more um, aware of how I react to things. So, like, now I think I'm at that point where if I'm sinking down into, like, that irritable kinda, like, I wanna rip your throat out mood, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna go take a nap." Like, I don't wanna talk to anybody. I'm gonna go and retreat and be by myself before I rip somebody's head off for no freaking reason. So, yeah, so it's good to know that, but, I mean, the only way for me to know that is to see that reflected in how my son is. And yeah, I don't wanna do that to anybody because I know how much it hurts when he turns on me. I mean, he could literally send me into a tailspin just with a look, just with the dismissal or whatever, and I don't wanna do that to anybody. So, yeah, I've been trying to be better about shielding people from my my moodiness. Um, more women get postpartum but don't realize it. I'm sure they do because those hormones are crazy. I mean, when your hormones are up and down and up and down, it makes you insane. So being depressed really it's not a shock. It's not, far from the norm. But I didn't have that with him. Even though I was completely sleep deprived and because the kid never slept, I was just happy all the time. all the time. I never put him down. Oh my god, never. Like Katie got trained to go to sleep in the crib, go to sleep in the bassinet, sleep in the carriage, whatever. Like she was always getting put down. Okay, soothe, self-soothe, and she would entertain herself. She would in the crib by herself. Connor, I never put Connor down. I never put him down. For the first 3 months of his life, he literally spent the entire time on my chest because that was his favorite place. He would just curl up on my chest, and that's where he stayed. And I don't know if it's because I had the C-section and then the C-section opened and I had to go through all that freaking like the nurse visits every day. But I was so attached to him and so afraid to put him on his own. But then when I did put him down, he would scream bloody murder. And I was like, no, because we didn't have a house. We had an apartment. And my neighbors would call the cops if my baby cried too much. So I just held him all the time. And by 3 months old, he was holding his head up and rolling over and doing all sorts of stuff. So I was like, all right, high chair. And he would sit in the high chair and play with his blocks or whatever. He was very advanced as a baby. I mean, he started like crawling early, walking early, running was definitely early. He used to scoot with one leg. Like when he crawled, we were worried. I brought him to the doctor. I was like, are his leg? He was like, that's just his style of crawling. He used to bend one leg out to the side and keep the other leg straight because he figured out it takes less time to scoot using the one leg and just drag the other one than it does to crawl on all fours. So he would just scoot, 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 and he was fast. And I was worried, but then one day he switched and used the other leg to, all right, now I feel better because I was worried he had like one leg he couldn't use. And I was just like, oh my God. And I used to exercise the leg all the time. And he'd kick me like, let go of my leg, bitch. But yeah, the day that he flipped over onto his right side, straightened that leg, and then curled his left leg to push along. And he did it just as fast the other. I was like, oh my God, that's such a relief. Because I was worried. I was worried. But yeah, he was weird. He was Houdini. He's the kid that you put in the carriage and strap in with like the over the shoulder harness and the one around the waist that came up between the legs. And you blink and he'd be like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? Son of a bitch. Where'd he go? None of the buckles undone, but he's gone. Gone. And it's just like, ugh. So yeah, I never, ever took my eyes off him when he was a baby. Anywhere we went, they were like, "Oh, like, take the carriage out, whatever." Yeah, every carriage I had for him until he hit, like, a year old faced me. Everyone. And he used to go through carriages like crazy. I don't know what he did, but he used to break pieces off of them, and it'd be like, "Oh my god." So as soon as it would break, I'd have to get a new one. But I had, like, 4 carriages before he turned a year. And then once he turned outward, I used to bribe him with putting stuff on the little tray that I bought that attached to the front of it. And I would put different toys in there just to keep him occupied and keep him in the seat. But yeah, he was my little Houdini. He gets such a kick out of those stories. Doo, 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 doo. Lady Awesome said, I had a superior complex after I had my first baby. I was like, yeah, I can make my own people. I had to put that in check. But it's amazing. It's always, to me, it's amazing that we make these little humans. And they're so interesting as they grow up. Like you see yourself and you see your significant other in them. But I mean, in my case, I prefer to see you have a superiority complex. I knew what you meant. We all know what you meant. It's all right, babe. Uh, but yeah, you do. You see all these different characteristics in them, and you're just like, holy crap, I grew that. Like, wow, you like those breaths? You like seeing all those colors and everything? I did that. You're welcome. Like, you like the taste of that ice cream? Yeah, you know why you can do that? Because I gave you life. I grew you. Like, I can't grow a cactus. I cannot keep a cactus alive, but I managed to keep 2 humans alive who were like the most vulnerable little humans. So it's just like that is a huge point of pride for me. It is. It's like, dude, not only did I keep you alive, I made you good. Look at you. You're smart. You're funny. You're sweet. You're kind. Look at that. Look, you're welcome. You're welcome. All those things you love about you, you're welcome. That all came from me. And I say that because whenever they do something that I can't stand, I'm like, ugh, you got that from your father. And they just look at me. I'm like, what? I'm a fucking beacon of light. What are you talking about? I am Mary frickin' Sunshine. But yeah, everything good about them, I'm like, you got that from me. I mean, to be fair, whatever intelligence they have, they got from me. Sense of humor probably from me because Katie's father's not funny. Eddie's funny. Connor's father, he's funny. So I mean, Connor wound up really funny because he got it from both of us. But for the most part, I look at my kids and I'm like, oh, all those things that everybody loves about you, you're welcome. Like, you're welcome. That was Heidi said that was my middle too. She was Houdini. And at almost 2, she got out of the crib to the top bunk bed. She was supposed to be napping. Yep. Yep. It's amazing. Lady said I tell my kids I baked you to perfection. I tell Connor he's my easy baked baby because he was made in 3 minutes or less. Um, and he just looks at me like, really, really. Yeah. See, that's the thing. I called him Houdini, but I was the one that was the escape artist. Good morning, Suzanne. How are you? Oh, good day, Suzanne. Happy Thursday. No M. Good M. Good M. Good M. See, I'm out of practice. Um, but yeah, no, I was the escape artist. But I had help. I didn't do it by myself. The dogs used to help me get out of the crib, especially Chance, because Chance was big enough that if I could just throw my legs over the crib, over the side of the crib, and I was doing this before I was a year old. So just so you know, if I could throw my legs over the crib, she would climb up and go under my body because my mother watched this one day. Would go under my body and let me slide down her head, neck, and back until it hit the floor. And then we'd go off in the kitchen and I would give her food out of the refrigerator and I would do whatever. Because nobody ever paid attention in my house. My father never left the couch. Like 3 o'clock in the morning, he's on the couch, high as could be, watching like friggin' what the hell did he used to watch at night? He watched like a lot of like the weird like B horror movies, like the black and white ones. But he liked watching Grizzly Adams. That used to be on at night because we only had like 3 stations. But if you put on PBS at night when it was still running, it was Grizzly Adams or like Swiss Family Robinson or like all those wilderness shows. So that's what he would watch. Chance was protecting me from fall. Always. Chance always protected me. She jumped in front of me when I got basically neglected and fell down a whole flight of stairs. She actually raced ahead and she put her body across the landing so that I would hit her body and not hit the bottom, hit the cement. So yeah, she saved me. She taught me how to walk because nobody like taught me anything. Let's face it. But when I was learning how to walk, my mother said that I would go over to the dog and she would wait for me to like hold on to her fur on her back. And then she would slowly get up and I would get up and she would walk slow and I would walk next to her holding on to her fur. So yeah. She was a good dog. She was a good dog. She was a baby. She was a dog who wanted babies. She used to have these mystery like phantom pregnancies and then she would have phantom miscarriages and my mother said she would go into depressions. She wouldn't eat for like days. She wouldn't play. She wouldn't even get up because she just would lament not having these babies. And she was a dog that wanted to be a mama. And so my mother got her this the cops came with this little poodle that had been abandoned. They found it at the side of the road and they didn't have anybody to give it to. So of course my mother took it because that's what we used to do. And she gave it to Chance. That was Shoo Shoo. She gave Shoo Shoo to Chance, and Chance, was she mamaed her the whole time. But then my mother got pregnant, and that was all she wrote. Like she said, that dog would not leave my stomach. Every picture I have of my mother pregnant, the dog is next to her with her head up against my mother's belly. Every one of them. And it's just like, okay. And as soon as I was born, like they said, the minute I came home, that dog never left my side. And she was the sweetest thing. She was, but she was half coyote. So, I mean, she was a wild dog that they had taken in. They were actually going to put her down, but my mother was like, no, no, no. So she took her in, and then they found out, oh, she's half coyote. It's like, oh, how can you tell? The feet and the nose. But yeah, she was amazing with me. Amazing with me. I still miss her to this day. But the whole thing that we were talking about was we were talking about like the moodiness, like your moods can switch. You get pregnant, you get menopausal, whatever. You get stressed out, your moods are all over the place. And lately I've been dealing with a lot of fluctuating moods. It's a lot of big life changes. I left some place where I was for 20 years. I left my hometown. I left all my friends. I left all my exes, which woohoo! But I changed everything to come back into a scenario or an environment where it's kind of toxic. And I forgot how to deal with them. I did. I forgot how to deal with my mother on a daily basis because most of the time, like before, if we got into a fight, I'd just hang up. It's not like we were face to face. Now she's right there, and I'm like, fuck, I got to deal with this. And it's been hard. It's been really, really hard. Um, the weather did not help. And it got me to thinking the weather is only beginning to enter its gray phase. Because in the end of autumn, all through winter, it's everything is gray. Depending on where you live, but for the most part, like where I live, everything is gray. So we do get seasonal depression. A lot of people do. I don't usually, but I think it was the whole change that had me like really feeling down. And the last few days, it's been building. And I've been more and more and more lethargic. And I'm just so tired and I'm apathetic. I don't want to play my puzzle games or whatever. And I was like, all right, a lot of other people have to be going through this. The holidays are coming. Election time is coming. It's very high stress. A lot of the things we're going through, like with the whole Israel, Hezbollah thing, with everything going on in like the Ukraine, and then you got North Carolina, with the devastation there, and in Tennessee and in Georgia. You got election interference. You got, a justice system that is completely corrupt. You have, FBI, CIA, all these alphabet agencies that we were told were there to like protect us and be like first line of defense against like any foreign invasion or counterintelligence or whatever. Like we were raised to think these were all good things, and we're slowly and surely finding out that they're all bad. There might be good people in them, but the agendas are not meant to help the American people. They're just not. There's a lot of disillusionment going on. There's a lot of facing a reality you didn't want to face, that you weren't even aware of. And it can cause extreme emotions. So I was thinking, like, what can we do to avoid that? And started looking stuff up, and I found this like really cute little emotional wellness checklist. And it goes through like a couple things. And you guys really enjoyed the visual aids the other day. So I was thinking we just go over that real quick and we'll call it a day. Um, A lot of people also, for anybody who's new, who's just, listening for the first time or whatever, people don't always notice if they have depression or not. They just think they're tired, or they think, well, I'm not eating right. The thing is, it's all connected. You guys know that because, I mean, my crowd, y'all have been there and back. Y'all been through it. We've all been through it. But there are people out there who maybe don't know or maybe blame themselves. which I don't agree with. A lot of you that I know, when things go wrong, you always blame yourself. You're so critical of yourself. And I really wish you weren't. I do it too, but like you guys tend to take everything on yourselves. And it's not always you. Most of the time, it's not you. You're just, you're super responsible and want to be accountable for your actions and your moods. But you have to understand that a lot of it is your environment purposefully doing that to you. So it's not your fault, it's just your burden. That's how I tend to look at it. It might be your responsibility to regulate your emotions and how you feel and figure out why or whatever. But that doesn't mean you're the cause of it. And it doesn't mean you're defective. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not crazy. Trust me, I've seen crazy. There's crazy on the internet. All you got to do is do a quick search and you'll find the crazies. But crazy, you're not. You're dealing with what is going on around you. And I know we go through it together, but a lot of you are often silent about it, and I don't want you to be. I understand if you are, but I want you to realize and know that you're not alone. Yeah, you're really not. You're not alone. A lot of us are going through really big issues. And I think we're stronger together. I really do. I think when we lean on each other, we're better for it because we're not only getting strength for ourselves, you're giving purpose to somebody else. You're making somebody else feel good that they're useful because a lot of it is helplessness. We feel we can't change things. If you can be there for somebody and just listen and it makes a difference, that's amazing. That's an amazing thing to be able to offer somebody. Giving your energy and your time to somebody, I think is one of the most valuable things you can ever give them. It outshines anything you could ever buy, any material object. And I love that you guys are always here with me and hanging out and you come back and you leave me little comments or whatever. I love it. Um, and I'm very thankful for all of you. Suzanne, dogs are amazing that way. My pit bulls were like that with me. You couldn't get near me. They stuck to me like glue when I was pregnant. Yep. I love pitties. Yepper's happening to me right now, Shelly. I bit the bullet and turned on the heat yesterday, but you have heat. So isn't that wonderful? Come on, Suzanne. You turned on the heat. How good does it feel to say that? I turned on the heat. I ran the water. I did it. Like, come on. You've accomplished so much in there, in that house. So much. I'm so proud of you, honey. Suzanne, I'm a Jew in Canada. Jew in Canada are in danger of being attacked and targeted, so we're vigilant in this house. I get it. I get it. I do. Wolfram said, unfortunately, it's Suzanne that is worldwide. People without a thinking brain believe the propaganda. 100% correct. Absolutely, Wolfie. It's sad. It's sad. Everybody's just, oh, you're this, you're that. Like, stop labeling. They're people. People are allowed to just be people. Why does everything have to be a sweeping generalization? Everybody's got to get lumped into some category. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. But for those of you who are just listening or have never maybe experienced depression in a way that's noticeable, you can experience appetite changes. You could experience energy changes. You could just have a general feeling of like just tiredness without having done anything to get tired. You might notice that your interests are waning, like you're losing interest in watching TV or listening to the radio or playing a puzzle or socializing. And you might notice that it takes more energy to get the simplest of things done. Like you, instead of just jumping out of bed and taking a shower or whatever, you're laying in bed thinking about the amount of energy it would take to get up, walk across the room, go into the bathroom, turn on the water. When you start breaking down activities into teeny tiny little morsels of actions, that usually tells me that you're entering some type of depressive state because you're overthinking every action. Whereas normally you would just automatically just roll right through them. You'd zip right through. But yeah, so these are just some of the things you'll have, like I said, appetite changes, the changes in energy, changes in who you want to be around. Like if the phone rings and you normally just answer it and you find yourself looking at it going, you might want to take a step back and evaluate where you are mentally. And remember, there's nothing so bad that there's only one solution to it. And if it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem, you really need to avoid that. I've been there. Trust me, I've been there. I've tried the permanent solution. I've tried avoiding the permanent solution. I've given into the temptation. I've run away from the temptation. And there's not much out there that I haven't lived through, to be perfectly honest. War is the only one. But I mean, I didn't live through like an external war going on in my neighborhood. All the wars that happen in my house. So it was a little closer to home than normal. And they were just as dangerous and just as explosive and just as terrifying. So when I tell you I've been there in so many different ways. And I'm still here. And I still have a loving heart. And I still have kindness in me. So even when I go to those dark places, I have wonderful people in my life who pull me back. And sometimes other people can't reach you. They can't pull you back, and it's up to you. It's up to you. So, um, Suzanne said, yeah, especially with Rosh Hashanah, that's a spiritual time for us. Oh, yeah, the timing is everything. And the timing is very deliberate. It is. They were hoping to catch them unaware or, really just throw a wrench in their works. So I feel you, honey. I do. You just stay safe. So when you're dealing with depression, I figure let's look at this emotional checklist. All right. You guys like the visual aid. So let's see. All right. We have an emotional wellness list. So I'm going to read it off. Your healthiest self emotional wellness checklist. Emotional wellness is the ability to successfully handle life's stresses and adapt to change and difficult times. Here are tips for improving your emotional health. All right, so the first one is brighten your outlook. That's not always so easy, but we try. People who are emotionally well, experts say, have fewer negative emotions and are able to bounce back from difficulties faster. So basically, if you have a more positive outlook, you're more resilient. I don't know about that, but I'm Gen X. We don't do positive. This quality is called resilience. See? Another sign of emotional wellness is being able to hold on to positive emotions longer and appreciate the good times. All right, I struggle with this sometimes, but I tend to want to be happy. So I tend to want to be cheerful, but if I'm in a very miserable environment, that's like trying to push back tidal waves with the palm of my hand. Like it's really, really hard to do when I'm one person battling all this negativity. And I mean, I remember my son used to go, "You're just too negative for me, to other people." He'd be like, "I can't talk to you. You have way too much negativity. Like I can't." And he would walk away. He doesn't do that now, but when he was little, he used to do that all the time. And I used to be like, "Son of a bitch, how does he do that?" Because I can't. I feel guilty. If you're negative, I'm still going to talk to you because, I care about you or whatever. But it's going to grate on my nerves after a while. And then eventually I have to cut it off. I have to cut you off. Like, just be like, no. Like, I can still be polite, but you got to go. I can't take the constant negativity. I just can't. I can't. That's my jersey. I can't. Um, This says to develop a more positive mindset. So I should really read this. Remember your good deeds. I don't know how that would work for me because when I have good deeds, I'm like, It tends to make me mad because I'm like, I was so good to this person. They treated me like such shit. And I'll either feel like mad or I'll feel stupid. And it's just like, well, now I don't want to be nice to anybody. Uh, I get over it though, because I'm a schmuck. I'll just keep being good to people. Forgive yourself. That's a difficult one. That is a difficult one. We should all practice that. It's very hard to forgive yourself because we all hold ourselves to really high standards. At least the people that I have in my life, like all of you. People who don't hold themselves to high standards tend to be the people you want to avoid. So it's a win-lose situation. Like you can't really it's not all going to be all sunshine and roses. The people that tend to feel the depression more are the people who tend to give more because their standards are so high for themselves and yet so much lower for other people, especially when they love them. It's a weird kind of thing that goes on. Spend more time with your friends, which is really hard to do when you're not in a good mood because you don't want to be like Debbie Downer. I tell Winnie all the time, I don't want to be a drag. Let me just go. And he's like, he's like, you're fine. Like, where you going? But to me, I'm like, oh, I'm not entertaining right now. I'm not super cheerful right now. I'm gonna bring him down. So I want to like run away. And he's like, no, no. Yeah. Pulls on the leash. Right back. Here I go. So I don't get to just wallow in my negative soup. Like he's like, no, we're gonna like he'll put something, he's like, let's change that mood around and he'll throw something on the computer for us to watch that he knows will make me laugh. You need friends like that. You need people in your life who care enough to go, yeah, no, I know you're kind of irritating right now and how like negative you are, but that's all right. We'll turn that shit around. Be like, it's all right, because maybe next week will be my turn. And that's the thing. You have to be willing to do the give and take. Explore your beliefs about the meaning and purpose of life. That's a T-Rex conversation. By the way, hi T-Rex. I saw you sneaking. Um, Anybody wants to have an existential conversation? Hit T-Rex up. He loves those. He's really good at them too. He's got tons of questions. He will make you think about things you never thought to think about. How do you like that sentence? That was a master sentence. Develop healthy physical habits. I mean, yeah, exercise, move around, whatever. Some of us don't have the luxury of constant mobility because the energy reserves are low. Do what you can. I have been pushing myself since I moved. Get up, get up, get up. Go do this, go do that. Go make breakfast, go make lunch, go make this for the kids. Go, you can go do the litter. Don't bitch at somebody else. Do it. Go do the fucking litter. Go outside on the porch. Go to the mailbox. Go do this. Like whatever I can do, I do. I don't want to be stagnant for long. Whereas before, I felt like I was going to fuse into that damn recliner because I never got to leave the recliner. So it would take all my effort to walk to the bathroom, 22 steps, to walk to the bathroom and back. And I'd sit down and be like, oh my God, I need a nap. Now I'm like, I'm up, I'm doing whatever. But I also have sunshine coming through the windows. I have windows open, so I have fresh air. There's a lot of space for me to like. The layout is I can cut through Connor's bathroom, which is right outside my door, come out in the mudroom, go through the mudroom, come out the kitchen, go into the living room or the dining room, or take a right into the den, come around through the den, down the hallway, and right back into my room. It's a big circle. It's great because I'm always like, I get up, I either go straight back and forth or I go in circles. And if I want to scare the crap out of my mother, I sneak through the mudroom and come up behind her because I don't make any sound when I move. Like when I walk, everybody in this house makes sounds because the hardwood floors underneath the underneath the carpet squeak. However, I grew up in a house with hardwood floors that squeaked. So I know how to walk without making a sound. And I scare the shit out of everybody. Like, where the hell did you come from? What? I just walked up behind you. But I've always been a silent walker. Like I soft pad every step I take, even with shoes on. Like you'll never hear me coming. And that's part of what scared the hell out of my exes because they're like, you don't understand. She can sneak up on you and not look like she's sneaking up on you. She'll just walk up on you and you'll never know she was coming. And it's just like, nope. I just appear like a ghost. But yeah, like, but I feel so much better and I feel stronger just being able to move around, do whatever. And the more I move, the more I want to move. And that's really important because it's so difficult to get the ambition and motivation to take that first step, to get up out of that chair, to stop relaxing or whatever. Because you're like, oh, I earned this like 5 minutes. Just five minutes turns into an hour, especially if you play games. Because you're just like, oh, let me go on Twitter and just for 2 minutes. There's no such thing as 2 minutes on Twitter. It's 2 hours or nothing. Like you fall into every rabbit hole they have, and then you're aggravated because let's face it, Twitter can infuriate even the most placid of people because people on there are stupid. Let me check out chat real quick since I'm in a whole different window. So T-Rex is here. T-Rex said, I had to drive from Indianapolis to Atlanta on 2 hours of sleep last night, and I'm still tired. Oh, honey, just drive safe, okay? Rest when as soon as you can. Suzanne said, T-Rex, please stay safe out there. Absolutely. Be careful at T-Rex, said Wolfram, and get some rest. See, we all say the same thing. Suzanne got to go call the plumber. The furnace is out. Fuck. I mean, it's always something. Always something. I know. Believe me. Wolfram at Suzanne, is it out or just on standby until the temperature of the thermostat lowers? Ooh, good question. I just woke up to people and they accuse me of sneaking up on them. I blame it on 13 years in the army. Wolfram, honestly, I mean, growing up in my house was like growing up in the army. I mean, she used to like 7 o'clock. If I wasn't already up, she would start ringing the bell for the upstairs bell was super loud. And it wake up, wake up, wake up, get your ass down here. I had bedtimes in my grandmother's house. Like you wake up at 7, you go to bed at 11. Like that, you don't have a choice. And it was regimented. Like mealtime was a certain time, and you ate what was in front of you. That the kitchen did not make special orders. I mean, for me they did, but most people didn't. You know, you had to be everything had to be ironed and just yeah. So I mean, I get it. I get it. And I used to I learned very quickly to walk with no sound because otherwise she knew exactly what I was doing from downstairs. She knew when I was awake. She knew if I had to go to the bathroom. She knew if I was dancing around my room because she could hear it above the kitchen table because that's where my room was right above the kitchen, above the dining room. So it was right over where she sat and did her crosswords and whatever. So she knew my every freaking movement and she would yell, stop doing whatever. And I'd be like, how the hell? And I think I was like 7 when I figured out, oh, she hears the floorboards. And she could hear me on the stairs and she could hear me everywhere. So it was like, all right. I learned how much you can open a faucet before they hear the water running. All that kind of stuff. How to open windows without making a sound. Like where to hold the window to take the pressure off the sliding parts where the friction is, where it squeaks. Like I learned all the tricks. And once you learn them once, they're committed to memory, and that's an automatic way of doing things. So yeah, I learned to be very stealthy. And I also learned how to interpret noises to know exactly what other people are doing where they are. Ask Winning. I used to drive him nuts. He'd be like, how? I'm talking to you and you're like, what? But yet you can hear a cricket. Like, I'd be like, oh, you're outside. How do you know? I can hear a cricket. How the fuck? Oh, you went down the stairs. And he's like, how do you know how to go up the stairs? It's a different sound going down the stairs and up the stairs. And he's just like, but that's That's how I orient myself because now I do exactly what she did. And that's from having kids. That's from being in the next room and you don't want to get up because you're in the middle of making dinner or whatever. And you're just like, I hear you. Get out of that cabinet. And they're like, how did you not just put down the chips or put down there? Don't do that. You have like this. That's why I used to tell my kids I had eyes in the back of my head. And because I have a lump in the back of my head, like under the skin from getting hit, um, I convinced Connor that it was an eyeball. So, like, his entire childhood, he would be like, "Look at me." He would make me face him, like, the 2 eyes didn't work as well as the one in the back. And he's just like, "I don't like that back eye watching me." I was like he thought I just had 1 eye in the back of my head. It was so funny. He didn't actually, like, ask to look at that part of my head till he was, like, 10. And he just came out of his room one day, and he was like, "Can you do me a favor? Can you show me the back of your head?" I was like, "Why?" He said, I just need to see something." And I was like, "All right." And I, like, turned around, and he's feeling the back of my head, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You used to have, like, a lump." I said, "No, it's lower, it's down here." And it's right in the middle of the back of my skull. And he was like, "Oh my god." He goes, "Oh my god, it does feel like an eye. I wanna see it." And I was like, "Oh my god, really?" And he parted my hair, and he was like, "You can't see it, though." I was like, "It's not an eye, Connor." He's like, "I know that now." He was like, "But I can feel it, though." I was like, "You're not gonna see anything. It's under the skin. It's attached to my skull." And he was just like, I thought that was an eye." I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Why did I think that was an eye in the back of your head?" I said, "'Cause that's what I told you it was." Duh. Like, he was like, "You lied to me?" I said, "You believed in Santa too. Shut up." Like, you believed in the tooth fairy, the Easter bunny. I lied to you so much. He's like, "It's not right for parents to lie to their kids." Oh, shut up. Like, give back all the presents. Give them all back. Like, you just give back all the presents that they all gave you. All that tooth fairy money, give it all back since you don't believe. He was like, "No, but I don't believe now, but I believe then, so it doesn't matter." And he'd walk away. But yeah, he was totally like, he wanted to see if that was an actual eye because he could not believe that it wasn't. But yet his logical self said that's not an eye. She lied to you. But he had to investigate, which I thought was funny. But to this day, like, I'll be like, eyes in the back of my head. He's like, "That's a lie." I'm like- he tells everybody that's a lie. Don't listen to her. She's a liar. He's like, she don't have eyes in the back of her head. She's just really perceptive. I was like, "Oh, okay." Howdy Heidi. T-Rex said, "What's a mud room? Is that like what I call a sunroom?" The mud room is where you come in through either the front or the back, usually the back door or the garage door, where the laundry is and where you take your, like muddy boots off, your snowy boots off. You can hang your coat or whatever. It's basically like the transition room where everything winds up. Like all the rain gear winds up back there, camping gear winds up back there. Like, if usually we have like the utility sink back there, so that you could just throw stuff in it, so the rest of your house doesn't get all messed up. Um, he said, "Is the mudroom where the utility mop sink is?" Yes, that's usually where that is. Heidi said, "You're reading me about noises." Yeah. hmm I love knowing where people are based on what I hear. And they're usually like, "How the hell do you know that?" I'm like, "What are you eating?" They're like, "I didn't make a sound." I could hear it. How can you hear it? Because your breathing changed. Oh my God, Michelle, stop. Winning's so used to it now. Now he just assumes that I know what he's doing based on what the sounds like. I used to get like he'd narrate what he was doing or where he was going. Now he's just like, "Oh, screw it. She knows what I'm doing." He's like, "She'll figure it out. It's fine. Concentrate on something else." Just like when he goes quiet, I'm like, "What are you doing that you're not paying attention to me?" Like, "Eyes on me. Let's go." It's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry, sorry." Because Winning is the king of multitasking. Like, he can't just do one thing. He don't work that way. I can sit here and just concentrate on him, but now he's got me to the point where I'll be doing something and I have to play games in addition to keep my brain um awake. Once I stop playing the games or whatever, I knock right out. Cause then I get focused on just like a voice and I'm just like, and it gets to be like monotonous and I'm out. I just and I don't even feel it coming. That's the weird thing. I'm awake 1 second and knock the frick out the next. T-Rex has experienced that as well. Wolfram said a mudroom is like a foyer, usually for the back door, where you take off your muddy boots before entering the house proper. Look at him with the good definition. So articulate. I love it. Meanwhile, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. It's kind of like this, kind of like that. I'm in rambling mode. Like, that's just how I feel today because I'm in a good mood. I have high energy. I'm hungry. And I'm just in a good mood. So I'm just rambling. Uh, T-Rex said, "Oh, I just woke up, got here to Atlanta at 4:30 and slept for 8 hours." Oh, that's good. I'm glad you slept. Oh, I'm glad you slept. Yes, I heard it's beautiful in Atlanta today. All right, so back to our thing. So reduce stress. That's another thing you could do to change your mood. Everyone feels stress from time to time. Stress can give you a rush of energy when it's needed most. Yeah, and a little adrenaline rush. But if stress lasts a long time, a condition known as chronic stress, those high alert changes become harmful rather than helpful. Learning healthy ways to cope with stress can also boost your resilience. One of the bad things about stress is it tends to give you a quick shot of cortisol to like basically numb over any pains or anything that you have in that moment that you might feel. It's like adrenaline, but it cortisol will build up in your system and it can lead to fat storage. Cortisol can build up, especially in women, it builds up in your belly area. So the more stressed you are, the more bloated and like full you feel because of the rush of the cortisol. So you always want to be careful about that. There are different ways to detox your body of cortisol, but for the most part, learning how to like really just deal with your stress and not hold on to it and not exacerbate it and make it bigger is one of the best ways that you could combat that. So to help manage your stress, get enough sleep, which when you're stressed out, what's the one thing you can't do? Friggin' sleep. So they're like, get more sleep. Yes. Can you like tell me how to do that? How do you do that? A lot of these helpful things, yes, on paper they're helpful. The execution is a little iffy. Exercise regularly. Again, when you feel stressed, yes, exercise is great. You know what's even better? Cleaning. Put some really peppy music on, and I mean peppy, like shit you would not normally listen to. Something that's gonna like really get you moving. Around here, we listen to like Spanish music to really get moving, or we listen like really fast country music. I tend to like to put on songs like Walking on Sunshine or Footloose or a lot by Damn Yankee, a lot by Daddy Yankee. Uh, what else? Like different dance music I like to put on to go clean and everything because it really does get you pumping, it gets you moving. And that's the best thing for you. And it really like the music can really up your mood. And being in a clean house, they've proven that the cleaner your house, the more organized it is, the less clutter you have, the better your frame of mind is going to be. Because when you're depressed or when you're, stressed out, the more things around you that are out of order or cluttered up, the more desolate and lost you feel. And the easier it is to sink deeper into that feeling, to feel more stress, because then everything becomes overwhelming. I had a boss, my ex principal, Marty. All these women used to tell him they were overwhelmed, 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 and and he'd give them a break. And he'd put the crap on me. Like I'd have to wind up with their jobs because they couldn't handle it. And one day I had a panic attack and I broke down and he was like, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "It's all too overwhelming." And he said, "No." And I was like, what? He said, you don't get to use that word. I was like, what? He goes, that's a pussy word. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, it's overwhelming. He said, no. He said, when people say shit is overwhelming, it means they can't do it. And they know they can't do it. They're not capable of it because they're not strong enough. That doesn't apply to you. I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, there are things I can't handle. He was like, that's not true. He really thinks he was of the mind that I was fucking Wonder Woman. Like, that's who I am. Like, I can do anything. He was like, you're not, and he literally to my face said, you are not allowed to use that word. Because overwhelming tells me that you can't do something and there's nothing you can't do. And I was just like, part of me wanted to be like, oh, and the other part of me wanted to punch him in the neck 9 or 10 times. But it was like, that wouldn't have been overwhelming. That would have been actually very stress relieving. There's another thing about exercise. Join a kickboxing class. Do it. Put on a YouTube kickboxing video and just do it. Stand there and just practice your jabs, practice your kicks. You would be amazed how good it feels just to throw hands at nothing. You're not getting in trouble, you're not being like aggressive. You're literally taking that stress, turning it into like this usable aggression and then just pumping it out with your arms. Just let it go and it's a huge release. It works so well. Now see, I can't go and like mess up a bag or anything. I got nothing that I can like kick because if I kick something, my other leg's gonna go out and I'm gonna be on the floor. And that's gonna defeat the purpose. But I have wrestling. I watch wrestling now, and you could ask winning. I will start watching it in one mood, and by the end, I am up and I am pumped and I am just but I feel better because I have this huge release of stress. And it's just through supporting the fighters that I'm seeing and just be like, yeah, like, I mean, I make noises for every single time they get hit, slammed, clothesline, whatever. It doesn't matter. I have a soundtrack for it. I have a vocal reaction and it helps me. It helps me to get through whatever I'm feeling. And even though I can't throw my body around like that right now fighting, I'm able to vocally do it. And I sit here and I get like, and I'm like, I get all like supercharged. And it really does help. So anything you could do to like find an outlet for that stress is wonderful. But honestly, physically is the best way to relieve stress. Either, just take a walk, you know, punch a pillow a couple times, clean the house, dance around, shake your ass a little bit. Who cares? Anything to get your body moving. You're working all those stress hormones out of your system and you will feel better. You might feel tired, but it'll be a more relaxed, okay, I'm good, kind of tired. You want to be in that positive headspace. Build a social support network. Yes. I mean, that's always good, but that can be difficult for some people. Maybe they're awkward. Maybe they're more introverted. Sometimes the best way to manage your stress is to cut off the social network for a little bit. And you go off, and instead of being in your own head, you do something that's going to occupy your mind completely so that you're not thinking of what's stressing you out. And you don't have to entertain anybody. You don't have to engage with anybody. You can isolate a little bit, just don't overdo it. Sometimes we have to isolate to charge ourselves back up. I do that. I will give and give and give and give and be there, be there, be there, be there. But then I'm like, no, I need a night to myself. I need a night where just nobody's asking me anything. I don't have to reveal anything. I don't have to make small talk. Small talk is very hard for me. I'm just in my own head. I'm just going to listen to some music, maybe do a jigsaw puzzle, maybe do a word search. I don't know. Do a crossword. I don't care. But I'm not engaging with anybody because I really need to recharge. And that's okay. It's okay to take time just to yourself. And I found out recently it's okay to tell the person that you love, You know what? I love spending time with you and you mean the world to me, but I need a couple hours just to myself. It has nothing to do with you. I'm this close to snapping and I don't want to snap on you. So I just need like an hour, 2 hours, a night, a day, whatever. But you give it a timeline. Don't let yourself just sink into it and be like, "Oh, I'm just not talking to anybody ever." Like, tell the person that you're closest to, "You know what? I'm gonna unplug from everything for about 2 hours. If you don't hear from me in like 2 hours, hit me up and remind me that, my time's up. I got to come back." Because you can overdo it. Because being alone can be very comforting because you have no expectations to reach but your own. You don't have to be anything to anybody but by yourself, and that could be extremely addictive. So, holding yourself accountable, giving somebody else a time frame can be very, very helpful. Trust me. And they'll appreciate it too because they won't wonder like what you're doing or whatever. They won't sit there and go, "Oh my god, did I say something wrong?" or whatever. They'll be like, "Oh, all right. You need to I get it. I get you're overwhelmed. It's okay. I mean, I wish you would be here, but I'll be here when you get back." Yeah, winning is awesome at that. He's awesome at, you know what? You sound like you need like a little time. I'll be here, in whatever place he's going to be when you're ready. And then you come on back and we'll see where we go from there. And he will. He'll test my mood and be like, "Where's she at?" And, "Oh, good, she's better." And most of the time I do come back better. And if I come back and I'm not better, then I give him the opportunity to try to change it around. Because then obviously needed more than just isolation. I needed more than just a recharge. So that's not like the full problem. And we just take it bit by bit. But you got to try different things. Look at everything from different angles. This says set priorities, think positive, try relaxation methods, and seek help. Priorities are fantastic, but understand your priorities can change from day to day. And even if you wake up and say, "This is the most important thing I have to do today," the universe will come along and go, "Yeah, wait a minute. I got a couple extra things I want to throw in there." And then you have to reorganize your priorities. Don't think of it as a failure or a setback. All it is a change of venue. That's all you're doing. You're just reorganizing. That's all. It's nothing big. You're fully capable of it. Don't let it stress you out. Think positive. Don't stress yourself out trying to think positive either. If you tend to do better thinking of something negative to be motivated, then do that. But know that you can fluctuate. You can do both. Again, moderation, keep it balanced. That's my main thing is keep everything balanced. Try relaxation methods like we just talked about. A lot of them don't work for me. Meditation does not work for me. I can't shut my head up. So I go to music. I used to go to art, but being as I can't right now, like music is my other outlet that keeps me very balanced, keeps me very relaxed. As long as I stay away from Ed Sheeran. All right, let me check chat real quick. Lady Awesome said, "You talking to my heart when you talking Daddy Yankee." Gasolina. I know, I know. I tell you, you and I were so alike. It's crazy. My youngest daughter's favorite Daddy Yankee song is La Vumba. Oh, nice. Is that like Cucumba? No. I used to have the ladies at work yelling down the hallway, "Cucumba," which is, cucumber. Um, that's a story for another day. I've told you that story with the vibrating cucumber, but whatever. La la la. Wolfram said, "LOL, I've been watching some first time reaction videos to Damn Yankee lately. Before that, it was Ted Nugent's Stranglehold." Oh, yeah. See, there's a difference between Damn Yankee and Daddy Yankee, and the difference is the high notes and the shake your ass to Spanish dancing. Like they're very, very different. And I love them both. But those are two totally different moods. Um, Ted Nugent Strangle. Oh my god. I haven't heard of Ted Nugent in a while. I used to really enjoy his hunting videos. I know you wouldn't think a girl like me would watch the hunting, but no, I used to watch all his hunting videos. He had tons of them. Uh, all my kids have had to listen to Daddy Yankee. Yep. Gasolina. Yep. Uh, oh, oh, oh. Now I'm going to be singing that damn song in my head all day. Because I can't speak Spanish that quickly. He's way too quick. Way too quick. But yeah, that's one of my favorite songs to shake my ass to. That is definitely a bump and grind kind of song, and it's all ass. I think we're all fluent in Taiwanese here on YouTube. Yes, we. I hope you can read Taiwanese. Of course we can. Of course we can. I'm detoxing from mainstream music. I only listen to independent artists now. There you go. There you go. See, you like all the outside the box stuff. Daddy Yankee has officially retired. I mean, we all get older. Do we think our favorite artists don't get older too? It's funny. Alrighty, let's go. Next is get quality sleep. You gonna tell us how to do that? Oh yeah, it says to get better quality sleep. All right, so I'm sorry, I'm rushing ahead. Get quality sleep. To fit in everything we want to do in our day, we often sacrifice sleep. But sleep affects both mental and physical health. I don't know about you, but I don't voluntarily sacrifice sleep. It just happens that way. It's vital to your well being. When you're tired, you can't function at your best. Sleep helps you think more clearly, have quicker reflexes, and focus better. Take steps to make sure you regularly get a good night's sleep. That's easier said than done, especially when you have kids. All right, because you're trying to get things done. And I don't know about you guys, but when I first had kids and I had to take care of like myself and my husband and my kid, I couldn't do anything when she was awake the way I could when she was asleep. So when she would go to sleep, it would be like, "Oh my god," because my husband would get out of the way, he'd be like, "Oh, here she goes." Because now it's time to do the dishes, time to do the laundry, time to do, the only thing I couldn't do was vacuum. I would do that when she was awake, even though she didn't like it, but for the most part, like, everything I had to do, put away all the clothes, put away the dishes, make advanced meals so I could meal prep ahead for the week so that when she's hungry, I could just feed her, not like, dinner's in an hour and a half. Like, all that stuff I did as soon as she went to sleep. And then I would turn around and I'd be like, "Oh shit, it's 2 in the morning. I gotta go to work I gotta be at work at 5 or like I gotta get up for work at 5." And it was just like, ugh. And then my husband would be like, You're impossible to wake up in the morning." I'm like, "Well, that's what time you're going to bed. I'm just waking up because one of us has a real job." But he'd be like, "You hit that fucking alarm every 5 minutes." And I'm like, "And?" That's why I used to set my alarm 45 minutes before I wanted to wake up because I knew in my sleep, click, 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 slap, 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 slap. Like it was just snooze, snooze, snooze. And then he would try to wake me up and I'd throw shit at him because don't ever try to wake me up. But yeah, I was tired. Because I'd be going to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning because I had all this stuff to do. I had paperwork to do. I had all, check all her homework, do all this, get everything ready for the day tomorrow for her. Everything had to be done as soon as she fell asleep because when she was awake, she wanted my attention. Mommy, I want to go here. Mommy, I want to go to a movie. Mommy, can we do this? Mommy, can we play that? So it was just like, okay, so mommy was busy. So as soon as she closed her eyes, it was like, yay. And I'd just go and do my thing. And then I'd have no time, and then I'd be like, "Oh, but I need an hour for me." And then I'd sit there and I'd, like, have a cigarette, read a story, read a book, whatever, and then now it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. But I refused to give up that hour for myself. And I was just so tired every day. So, yeah, it's really difficult. We don't do it intentionally, but there's just not enough hours in the day, for me to work 10 hours and then come home and be mommy for another 10 hours and then take care of a house that, the cooking and cleaning and laundry takes 10 hours. I don't have 30-hour days and then add in 8 hours of sleep. I don't have a 38-hour day. It just doesn't exist. I need that, but it doesn't exist. And so, yeah, you make sacrifices all around the place. And most of the time, what do? What's the go-to line, guys? I'll sleep when I'm dead. Like, that's what we all have grown up saying. Yeah, but you're gonna reach that point a lot sooner if you don't learn how to manage your sleep. So they say to get better quality sleep, go to bed and get up each day at the same time. Again, life don't work that way, especially with the internet. I slept way better before I had any internet access because that opens up a world that never sleeps. It never sleeps. So there's always somebody to talk to, always somebody to watch, always something going on. And if you're like me, the FOMO struggle is real. Fear of missing out? Oh my goodness. I didn't know I had that until YouTube. And then it was like, oh my God. When I was sitting listening to one person stream on one computer in one ear with the earbud and listening to another person stream on another computer on another earbud in the other ear at the same time while I was looking at my phone trying to figure out what the hell they were saying on another show, I was like, this is too much. Like, that's how I knew I had FOMO because I was like, "Oh my god, one at a time, one at a time, one at a time." But no, everything had to be covered, and there was no speeding through it. It was it was listen to it at normal speed. Now it's listen to one, I put it on 2x speed half the time because I just don't care, and it's usually in the background while I'm doing something else because I don't need to see you. We're good. I just need to hear you. So, yeah, it's vastly changed, but I still do have FOMO. It's just now my FOMO is basically like, yeah, I have a fear of missing out, but you're a dick, so I'm not gonna bother. And I just click out. I'm like, what's more important to me, my sleep or listening to you sit here and bitch and make excuses for yourself? Not click out. And I go back to sleep. And I play music instead of watching anybody's shows, anybody's streams, or I listen to Senate hearings that I don't care about. Not ones that I do care about, just old ones that I don't care about because they'll always put me to sleep. Sleep in a dark, quiet place. Yeah, the computer screen, it's not good for your sleep. The phone screen, not good for your sleep. Put them down. Put them down and give your eyes like 5-10 minutes to just decompress from all that visual stimuli, from all that light. Exercise daily, that's always good, but that doesn't make me sleepy. Limit the use of electronics, like I just said. Relax before bedtime. Again, I just said that. See, I know how to sleep well. I just don't do it. Avoid alcohol, nicotine, and stimulants late in the day. I mean, I hit the weed. I do. I take like 2, 3 puffs of weed, and then I'm like, all right, within 10 minutes, I'm like, oh wow, I gotta go like I feel floaty. I ask Winnie, I got no legs. Like I got no legs. I'm floating. And then all of a sudden all you hear is and I'm just knocked out. Like I'm sitting up dead asleep. Consult a healthcare professional if you have ongoing sleep problems. Yes, don't ignore that. When I went for the sleep study, they said I stopped breathing 11 times in like the little 4-hour window that I actually slept. They're like, "That's not good. Like, you stop breathing for long periods of time." And I was like, it didn't surprise me. But I mean, they were like, "You need this and you need that." I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I've been sleeping this way my whole life. I'm going home." And I went home and I slept the same. It does help me though to sleep on a bit of an incline. So now that I have like the adjustable bed, I don't need to sleep sitting up like I did in the recliner. In fact, I avidly avoid that. But if I just sleep on like maybe a 35-degree angle or like between 20 and 45, I'd say, then it's amazing the change in my breathing and the change in the way I sleep. So I sleep I have a whole routine. First, I go have a cigarette and I get something very light to drink, usually water, only a little, just enough to, like, wet my whistle. Go to the bathroom, I get in bed, I adjust the height of my feet and of my head. Then I put my softest, warmest blanket on so that it's like this big, and I call it my winning blanket because it's green, but it's Sherpa on one side and like that velvet on the other, the velvet microfiber. And it's super soft, super fluffy, super warm, very comforting. It's like a big old hug. And I put that cover my whole body. Then I put the weighted blanket, and it's a light weighted blanket. It's not heavy. It's only like 5 pounds, but it's enough that I feel grounded. And I put that on, and then I put the music on, and I close my eyes. All the lights are out. And within like usually 2, 3 minutes, I'm knocked out. And I will stay asleep until I have to go to the bathroom. That's what always wakes me up. My dreams actually say, "We need to pee, get up." And it's like, okay, fine. Like, that's the only thing that wakes me up. But I'll sleep 4, 5 hours at a clip, which I couldn't do before. But it's that whole combination. Also, I always have a fan going. The fan doesn't even have to hit me. I just have to hear the motor. Very, very slight or whatever, but I have to hear that motor. And it's perfect. That sends me to sleep and it keeps me asleep. But it took me a really long time to find that formula. Doo, 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 doo. So she detoxed. I'm going back and forth between the chat and the thing. Um, Daddy Yankee official, yeah. Wolfram said yes. Ted Nugent has retired from touring this year, I think. Styx, on the other hand, is still touring this year. Oh, I love Styx. You know it's you, babe. Um, Lady Awesome. From sheer exhaustion, I go to sleep around the same time every night and wake up around the same time. Yeah, I don't need an alarm anymore. I haven't had an alarm. Well, I mean, I set my alarm when I have to wake up, like for one of their shows at night, or like somebody's doing a daytime show that I have to be there for. But as far as like in the morning, no, I wake up the same times every day. If I fall asleep like early in the night, I will wake up at 1. I will wake up between 4 and 5. I will wake up at 7 and I will wake up at 9 every single day. It never fails. Doesn't matter what time I go to sleep. Doesn't matter what I've eaten, what I've exercised, what I've listened to. None of that matters. I wake up at those times no matter what. It's bizarre. But I started waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning every single day the day I turned 44. It was a weird thing. It was 444. I turned 44, woke up at 4. And every single day after that, I never needed to set my alarm for work. It drove me nuts because I very much enjoy my morning sleep. I'm not a morning person. And yet, as a kindergarten teacher, I had to become a morning person. I had to, be like, drink my whole thing of coffee and be like, "Hey, kids, la la la. Wheels on the bus go round and round. Hi, friends, catch a bubble." Like, I always had to be super, super cheerful. And it was just like, ugh. So yeah, it's hard to do, but I don't know. I can do it, but like winning this morning, like when I talked to him, he was like, "Yeah, da, da, da," and I'm sitting there going, like, "Oh my god." Like I haven't had a cigarette yet. I haven't had my coffee. I haven't had anything. I haven't eaten, and he's just full of energy, and dear God. And then eventually it bled off and like he rubbed off onto me as usual. Although phrasing, but no, he woke me up. Then I was like, all right, now that I'm up, like, now let me go. So I go get ready for my show. Because I might not have done a show today because I woke up really tired and achy. Like my arms hurt. And I was like, oh, I can't do this. And then he was like, "Bah, bah, bah, bah," and I was like, oh, fine. I was like, whatever. I was like, God damn it. But he's infectious. He woke me up, bastard. Thank you, honey. But bastard. Uh, but yeah, the sheer exhaustion can make you go to sleep when you have little kids like you've got. I mean, I remember getting to that point with Connor because he was just all over the place. Where I'd be like, "Oh no, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good." Like my body's like, "Bitch, sleep." Even though my brain was like, "Oh my god, we got bills to pay, we got to do this, we got to do that," and my body's like, "No, we taking a nap right here." I guess I'm at least doing something right. I put my TV on sleep timer. My husband says I shouldn't, but I do. Do you sleep with one of those funny things on your face? I have the sleep masks. I do. I have them. However, I always wind up almost choking myself to death with them because they make their way down my face and wind up like getting all like tied up and like twisted around my neck. And I wake up like, like, oh my God, somebody's trying to kill me. No, that's just your sleep mask. Or it pops off the top of my head, like it'll move up and pop off, and then I can't find it. And I'm like, I wake up thinking I'm missing something because I forget that I put the sleep mask on because now I don't have it on. And I'm just like, what? Why? Where'd it go? What am I missing? And then all day long, I feel off kilter. So they're a nuisance to me. I have them, but they're a nuisance. Um, Computer screens are bad for you. Step away and decompress. Wolfram. Okay, see ya. I mean, if you're going to sleep, God, even the expert, you say, "Oh, I put you on so I can go to sleep." Thanks. What? He was like, "What? Your voice is very soothing." It's either soothing or monotonous. So which is it? It sounds like my sleep cycles, but still need an alarm. Yeah, I'm at that point. First of all, I got nowhere to go. So what the hell do I need an alarm for? And second of all, I'm gonna wake up every couple hours anyway. I sleep longer when I take a nap than I do when I go to sleep. That's the thing. Like I take a nap, I'll take a 6-hour nap. And I'm like, why can't I sleep like this at night? I'm not a night sleeper. I've always been a night owl. I'm awake at night. That's what happens. And since I've moved here, I don't know if it's the mountain air, but it hits 12 o'clock and I'm like, like I'm dead. And when he's just like, "You're going to sleep," I'm like, "No, I'm fine." He's like, "Go to sleep." All right. As long as you recommend it, I'll go to sleep. I'm a good girl. I do as I'm told. But yeah, no, it's weird. Um, Lady Awesome said, "My husband has an alarm he has set to his song, and I rarely hear it. Before my husband, I never slept well. Now I have no problem." Oh, you feel safe too. I take melatonin nightly. Yeah, I do too, but it doesn't do shit for me. But you're happy, you're content, you feel safe. When you sleep next to somebody who you know is going to protect you and yours, you can sleep better. When you're sleeping next to somebody that you don't fully trust, you're still on alert. You're still going through it, so you're not going to get a deep sleep. And I've slept next to people who I literally learned to sleep with like one eye open. Well, I mean, LOL to bastard, bastard, bastard. He says it like that now. It's so cute. He has no idea how much of my accent he's picked up. I hear it. He doesn't hear it, but I hear it when he says certain things. I'm like, oh, how cute. I love it. But then again, I say, I know. I never said things like that. Like I would say, I know. Like that's my I know. I know. I know. I know. Not I know. Like I just you pick up each other's cadence. It's funny. Doo, 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 doo. Lady said, I started homeschooling kindergarten. It's going better than I expected. My daughter wants to go to sleep early so she can have lessons sooner. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, you're so lucky. They like it so much by 5:30 a.m. They're ready to start. Oh, I don't know how I feel about 5:30 a.m. But then again, they'll be done a lot quicker too. And then they get that long nap. See, if you're teaching them that early in the morning, they can still have a kindergarten nap. That's awesome because that gives you a couple hours. If you can get them down for like 2 to 3 hours, it's amazing. in the early like morning, right before lunch. Yippers, 10 years of that type of sleep. Oh yeah. I mean, it's really hard to sleep next to somebody when you fear for your own safety or the safety of your kids. Like, if you're not completely secure, there's no way you're getting a deep sleep. And I haven't had deep, deep sleep in many, many years. Many, many years. And it's funny because, like, the more stressed out I am when I'm on the phone with Winning or on the computer with Winning, and he's like, "You fell asleep on me again. You fell." I'm like, "Yeah," because he doesn't get that now I'm in an environment where I'm completely comfortable and I feel secure and I can relax, which is something I don't really know how to do. And so when I actually sit and I'm like, "All right, what are we doing?" Like, "Here, you drive. You figure out what we're watching or what we're listening to or whatever. And I leave myself in your capable hands." And when I do that and he just goes and does things and like, I'm relying on him to steer. It's just like I knock out. And it's so weird because I'm so happy and relaxed and comfortable. I cannot keep my eyes open. And it happens in an instant. And it's something I don't experience at any other time with any other person. So part of him is like, "You fell asleep on me." And I'm like, but he doesn't get, I think, the compliment that it is because I can't sleep around people. I can't unless I'm absolutely exhausted and or medicated. And with him, I just knock out. So it's just like, be grateful because it doesn't happen to anybody else. Um, so be mindful. The concept of mindfulness is simple. Um, this ancient practice is about being completely aware of what's happening in the present, of all that's going on inside, all that's happening around you. It means not living your life on autopilot. Becoming a more mindful person requires commitment and practice. Here are some tips to get you started. To be more mindful, take some deep breaths in through your nose to the count of 4 and hold for 1 second. Then exhale through the mouth to the count of 5. Repeat often. That doesn't help me to be mindful, but it does help me with dizzy spells. There's a little tidbit for any of you who you stand up too fast. All you have to do is put your hands against a solid object like a wall or something and breathe like that 1 or 2 times, and your dizziness will pass really quickly and you'll be much more grounded. That's a very good trick for anybody with fluctuating pressure or anything like that, like blood pressure. Keep that in mind. If you feel suddenly dizzy, just brace yourself against something solid. A wall is best. And just breathe deep like that and be mindful of your breathing. And the dizziness goes away almost instantly. It's amazing. Enjoy a stroll. Notice the sights around you. Yes. Practice mindful eating. Be aware of each bite and when you're full. I have a problem with that because if I pay attention to what I'm eating, I tend to not want to eat it because then I taste all the, well, I feel all the different textures that I try to ignore when I'm eating. And it actually makes me sick to my stomach. So I can't do that. But I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. Find mindfulness resources in your local community, including classes, programs, or books. Winning usually says be present, right? That's what he taught me when I first met him. He was like, you got to stop worrying ahead. Like, stop overthinking things. Stop trying to jump into the future. Be in the present. Worry about the present. And when I do that, I find I have a lot less anxiety and a lot more control over what I'm doing. So I tend to make better decisions. I make less emotional decisions, and I tend to experience a lot less panic if I'm thinking right in the now. If I'm thinking even a day ahead, I become so avoidant and full of anxiety that I shut down and I don't do anything. So instead of doing the little bit I could have done today, I wind up being behind schedule because now I can't do anything. And the the failure I feel adds to that whole stress, building feeling. And I just get worse and worse and worse. So, yeah, if I stay in the present, I'm much, much better. Just if I accomplish a little bit rather than let my mind go and overthink and, let my emotions get the best of me. I'm much better if I just get that little bit done. So maybe try that. Uh we're moving through. Let's see. Coping with loss. When someone you love dies, your world changes. There's no right or wrong way to mourn. Although the death of a loved one can feel overwhelming, most people can make it through the grieving process with the support of family and friends. Learn healthy ways to help you through difficult times. Okay, coping with loss is not just when somebody dies, it's the end of an era, it's the end of a friendship, it's discovering that somebody that you cared about isn't the person you thought they were. There are many, many ways to experience loss. It's being having your lifestyle change where you can't do things you did before. It's having your resources changed where maybe you don't have access to what you had before, or you don't have the financial freedom or the financial security that you had before. There are many, many ways to experience loss. And the best way I found to deal with loss is to acknowledge it. Admit that you lost something. Admit that you're feeling a void of some sort and that you're grieving. You're allowed to grieve for any reason. If you lose anything, you're allowed to grieve it. Just don't wallow in it. Don't sink into the grief. Don't let it overwhelm you and overcome your whole life. You need to be bigger than the grief. Give yourself a time frame like with the other we talked about. Give yourself a time frame where you get to really just have yourself a good old-fashioned pity party. Do it. Get a drink that you like. It doesn't have to be alcoholic. Just get something decadent that's gonna, you know, something that gives you comfort. Maybe a hot chocolate or something like that. You know, go away from people and just listen to some sad music, cry it out, get it out, and move on. You got to learn, and I'm getting better at it, to take your grief, experience it, box it up, and put it the fuck away because it serves no purpose to continue to live in that grief. And yeah, there's going to be triggers. There's going to be things that remind you of the things you've lost that are going to bring back that sharp pain of loss, that sharp pain of grief. But that will lessen over time. And the less power you give it, the less power it has over you. So if you say, okay, yeah, I feel this way, but I'm not going to feel this way forever. I got shit to do. Like, yes, I lost out on this, but look at what else I have. Learn to count your blessings. Learn to do the thing where you say, yeah, I lost out on this, but oh my God, look at what I do have. You know, it's not half full or half empty. It's the fact that you still have a glass with anything in it. That's the blessing. Doesn't matter how much or how little. It's that it exists. You have an opportunity to drink from it, leave it alone, or add to it. That's your choice. That is in your power. It's your glass. What's in it is up to you. How you see it is up to you. All right, so how to cope with loss. Take care of yourself. Talk to a caring friend. Try not to make any major changes right away. Join a grief support group. Consider professional support. Talk to your doctor if you're having trouble with everyday activities. Be patient. Mourning takes time. Okay, when I moved, right before I moved, I told Winning, we need to think about what I'm going to be like. We know me. We're making a rule. I am not allowed to make any major decisions for the next 2 weeks. And he laughed at first, but then he was like, okay, because he realized, oh no, she's serious. And yeah, no, that's a good idea because she makes shit decisions when she's emotional. And so every time I went through something, he was like, "Remember, you're not making major decisions. I'm not letting you make a big decision. Like, you can't." All right, fine. Because every major decision I was going to make would have been a bad one, to be perfectly honest. And sometimes, yes, talk to a caring friend. Sometimes you need a friend who's caring, but not going to coddle you. Like, I'm not Willy Wonka. I don't candy coat shit. I don't know how. I can deliver a gentle way of doing things, but that's not my go-to. That's not my default. My default is I'm very blunt and abrupt, and I'm going to call you on your bullshit. And that's just how it is. And if you don't like it, fuck you. Like, that's just how I am. I can be gentler. It's just not my preferred delivery method. Um, it's not my default. And sometimes you need that friend that's not going to take your shit and not going to think about, oh, is this going to hurt their feelings? I'd rather hurt your feelings than watch you destroy your life. If you're being a dick, I'm going to tell you you're a dick. If you're being stupid, I'm going to tell you you're being stupid. If you're with somebody that I think is like a manipulative, piece of trash, I'm going to tell you they're a manipulative piece of trash. Dump that bitch. Like, I mean, that's just how it is. Sometimes you need that. And sometimes you need the friend who's going to enable you. I think it's better to have like more of one than the other, but that's just me. I don't need anybody to enable me. I need people to stop me from being stupid. Because I've had enablers my whole life, and we see where that's gotten me. It's a great idea. No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't tell me I have a great idea just because you're afraid of me. Like, grow some balls. I have plenty of balls. I wear them on my chest. Try not to make any major decisions. We went over that. Join a support group. Again, I have you guys. And I purposely stayed away from you guys because I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was growing content in my depression. And it was just, I was afraid to let anything out. Even with winning, like he supplies like most of my emotional support. But talking to you guys is different. And it wasn't until I realized that I was depriving myself of that on purpose that I was able to change, come back, and really have an outlet and really just release all the negative emotions that I was going through and work through them. And I feel different than I even felt a week ago. So, yeah, support groups are very important. It's just they don't always look the same. They don't always look the same. Talk to your doctor. I mean, I'm going to skip that part because I think doctors are, you know how I feel about doctors. Anyway, back to chat. I take melatonin. Lady Awesome said, yeah, that's a good point, Shelly. With my first husband, I never slept. You're right. I always kept one eye open around that fool. Yep, because your brain knows survival. It goes into survival mode and you're hypervigilant. When you are surrounded by a threat on any level, you're hypervigilant. And you just cannot relax to the point where you're going to get a deep sleep. Yep, always on the lookout. Was supposed to say had 10 years. Oh my goodness. I did not forget to play the clip. I did. All right, so there's a thank you, Winning Rally, for your $10 super chat. And there, I hope you're happy. Did that make you happy? And if it didn't, here you go. Here's one that makes me happy. That's everybody dancing. There we go. We got the whole lineup. Winning set. It's so bossy. Play the damn clip. Can't believe you got a super chat about boobs. Sang a song about it, boobs, and forgot the clip. I did not. Uh-uh. Oh, you be quiet. So impossible to make happy. Jeez. Thank you for the super chat, though. Appreciate that. Lady Awesome Sky. 4 hours of lessons per day is a state requirement. However, my kids do 4 hours, take a nap, and do at least another hour or two, depending on the day. They've been begging for Saturday kindergarten. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I hate to say it, but be happy about it now because that changes as they get older. But maybe you're just a great teacher. Maybe they're just really enjoying having mom give them all that, like academic attention and they're equal. And it's competitive. Like they're competing against one another and also support one another. But I mean, as long as they love school, I mean, come on now. Um Doing that is also called a breathing square. Doing that while drawing an imaginary square 10 times helps give pause to allowing emotional control for you and it helps with the processing circle of emotion. I didn't know that. I never did the whole cognitive behavioral therapy model of emotions equal emotional circle. Huh. I didn't know about that. I got to try that. I got to try that. When he said I stretched out to a month. Yeah, he's good at me not making big decisions. He's no, no. I'll tell you, I never met anybody who could rein me in the way he can. That's a gift. That is a gift from God. Winning, just appreciate it because nobody else can. Heidi said, Shelly, I'm blunt too. It may be an aspect of a personality, but not who a person is more than half the time. Bluntness is a coping mechanism learned early in life. I was a people pleaser to keep the peace as a kid and the early 20s, though. That's same as me. Same as me. You got to jump through all the hoops. I guarantee you remember how everybody you've ever cared about likes their coffee, likes their food, what foods they're allergic to, what foods they like, what types of shows they like, what kind of music they like. You remember all their preferences so that you could supply them and keep them happy and not play something that's going to that they're going to reject or not like or whatever. So yeah, a people pleaser, I know exactly what you mean. I literally keep a catalog of everybody's preferences in my head. My son's father showed up to my house 10 years after the last time I had seen him. And I went in the kitchen, came back, and handed him something to drink. And he was like, I love this iced tea. I was like, I know. He was like, it's made exactly the way I like it. I know. And he was you remember? I remember. I remember. I remember his favorite food. I remember Katie's father's favorite foods. I remember my ex Billy, every single thing he ever gave me a compliment on that he liked or wanted me to make. I have a list of the recipes in my head. So, yes, and it's not just the exes, it's the friends. It's this person doesn't like to go see this kind of movie, so don't suggest that kind. Ask if she wants to go see this kind. Oh, that her voice sounds like this when she's feeling some type of way. You know exactly what to say to lift her out of that. That whole menu is always running in my head. And I had to learn to just say, fuck it. What you're feeling is what you're feeling. Yeah, I'm here, but what's going on? Just I don't want to tap dance around this shit. Just tell me what's wrong with you. Just it's fine. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm gonna judge you if you make me wait. Stop. Just tell me what's wrong with you. And now instead of jumping ahead of that, I do check-ins, especially with Winning. Be like, yeah, right? And I think in the beginning he thought I was like, oh my God, oh my God. I was always worried. No, I just do that. And he just knows now to say, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, all right. Are you sure? Yeah, why? Because then he knows that I'm picking up on something he doesn't realize he's putting out. So he'll correct that. And he's like, "No, no," or he'll reassure me that, "No, no, you're just overthinking. Get out of your head. Let's watch something." And it's like, "Okay." But it's weird to just be able to come out and be like, "I don't know. I feel like you're just talking a certain your voice changed or I have this feeling." Whereas before I'd be like, "No, it's okay. Is there something I can do? Like, what can I do for you? You know, because I was always afraid it was me. And I still have that fear that it's me, but he's just like, no, stupid. Like, he never says that, but he's like, silly. Like, no, silly. It's not you. Like, just, I'm fine. Like, I'm perfectly fine. Just quiet. I'm like, okay. But he knows to explain it. Most people that I know in life don't know to explain it. But yeah, being a people pleaser sucks. It does. But you have to, just because you don't want to be the target. You want everything to be harmonious. Um, Love that they love learning. Yeah, it's amazing that they love learning, lady, because a lot of my kindergartners, they were not happy. I mean, I learned how to get their attention, but to have them like that enthusiastic is phenomenal. I never thought I'd like their kindergarten teacher as much as I do. You're so funny. Well, I love their kindergarten teacher. She's awesome. She's lady awesome. Heidi said, learned about the CBT technique from a counselor specializing in ADHD, RADS, and ODD to help my children through their therapy. Yeah, see, my son had the ADHD and the ODD, and I did learn how to change my tone of voice, like my mannerisms, how to redirect, how to put the kibosh on like any kind of like escalating meltdown. So yeah, you learn tons of stuff, but that was a good one. I never learned that one. All right. And lastly, we have strengthen social connections. Social connections might help protect health and lengthen life. Scientists are finding that our links to others can have powerful effects on our health, both emotionally and physically. Whether with romantic partners, family, friends, neighbors, or others, social connections can influence our biology and well being. To build healthy support systems, build strong system, but I can't talk, wait. Build strong relationships with your kids. Get active and share good habits with family and friends. If you're a family caregiver, ask for help from others. Join a group focused on a favorite hobby, such as reading, hiking, or painting. Take a class to learn something new. Volunteer for things you care about in your community, like a community garden, school, library, or a place of worship. Travel to different places and meet new people. All right. So, yes, social connections are very important. Healthy social connections are more important because, as you've all found out on the YouTubes, on the internet in general, you can come across a lot of really toxic people. They look and sound fine in the beginning, and then the mask slips. And then you're in the soup and you're cooking and you don't realize it. They've turned that temperature up so slowly, you're just like, you relax into it. And then all of a sudden, betrayal and lies and just ridiculousness. So just be very careful who you trust and who you put your energy into, because there are people out there who are good people, but they're not there for the long haul. They have a tendency to, they show up, they this big flash bang, whatever. Things don't turn out exactly as they want them when they want them, and they disappear and go reinvent themselves because they didn't get that instant gratification. The only people that they're hurting are the people they left behind. They don't care. They're moving on to a new group. So just be very careful because there's a lot of them out there. Strong relationships with your kids, yes. I don't think that you can have a strong enough relationship with your kids, because the better it is when they're younger and starting out, the better off you're going to be, because as they get older, they need you less and they think they're better off like away from you. You become annoying. Like you're a know-it-all or whatever. Like they want their freedom, they want their autonomy, and they pull away from you. Don't worry, they come back because eventually they realize, "Oh my god, I need my mother or I need my father." They always come back. But appreciate that closeness when they're little and build on that, because it's going to be so much more important when they're teenagers and when they're older. because then they're going to know how to make connections with other people based on good behaviors, based on good emotions, not toxic environments, not narcissistic like needs, and not hedonistic desires. It's so much more than that. If you build these strong relationships with them, there's trust, that you teach them integrity, you teach them responsibility, you teach them, emotional awareness, you teach them compassion, sensitivity, but you also teach them resilience. The stronger your relationship with your kids when they're younger, the better it'll be when they try to go out on their own. And you'll have a much easier time too, I think, because you'll have a lot more trust in them, and you trust in what you taught them. And you just hope they freaking remember. All parents out there know 9 times out of 10, they're not going to remember. They're going to screw it up. But that one time counts. That one time counts. So just never give up. They said get active, have good habits with family and friends. Yeah, well, I mean, if you have people local, a lot of people now live isolated. So get on the phone with somebody. Do whatever you have to do on the phone, do it on the computer, do whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. There's so many ways to stay connected to people. You don't have to sit and do it. You could walk around and do it. Hell, I go with Win to the store. It's the only time I ever get out. Like, it's like, yeah, he takes you to the store, he takes me here. It's like, whatever. It's an outing. But you don't have to be stagnant to be connected to people. Like, you don't have to sit and give them your undivided physical attention. You're just connected. You're just hanging out. Just have a little grace. Know that they're going to be distracted once in a while. Know that you're going to be distracted. You're not going to hear every single thing. It's not a personal slight. You just want to be around that person. You're just not, they're not the world. It may feel like they're your world, but there's other things in the world going on, and they know that, and you know that. Give yourself the forgiveness of not always being totally attentive. If you're the family caregiver, ask for help from others. This is the one I really wanted to talk about, because if you're the caregiver, it's really, 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 really hard to ask for help. It's really hard to ever depend on anybody else. Tish in Tennessee. Oh my goodness. My heart just skipped a beat when I saw that. How you doing, lady? Oh my goodness. Rad's is reactive attachment disorder. That's probably something I have. Oh, Tish in Tennessee. Hello, my friend. Oh, hello. How are you? I miss you so much. Oh, my Tish. She said, my 32-year-old and I work in the same building, same company, so we can't get away from one another. That was me and my mother. From the age of 22 till I was 28, I worked in the same company in the same building with my mother. And it was funny because she worked in the front of the office and I worked way in the back. And everybody else is, they'd be doing their job. They're on the phone. All of a sudden you hear, Ma, hey, what? And we're just yelling back. But like we'd go to lunch together. We had our cigarette breaks together. It was just, I'd call, I'm going for a cigarette break. I'm coming, and we'd be fine. But it was also like if I got a shitty client that would call and like tell me off or whatever, and I'd be like all upset, it had to go through the switchboard, which was what she did. She did reception. And she would be like, oh yeah, you talked to that girl in accounting? Oh yeah, that bitch. Oh, that bitch is my daughter. And she had to go, It was it was always fun. I'd have people call me, oh, that receptionist. I mean, you mean my mother? That's my mother. Like, I could talk all the shit I want about my mother, but how about you come here and talk it to my face? Like, because I'm threatening. She's not as aggressive. I'm threatening. So it was fun. It was fun working like all those years together because we worked in the gas station together. I mean, we just, I don't know. And we have the same work ethic, which good for our employers, not so much for us because we're two workhorses. Um, I'm just so excited to see Tish. Oh, you got me all verklempt over here. To steal a Joe word. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Oh, I hope you're doing well, honey. Tish said, I'm good, kind of repainting my channels. All right. Had to take a break for a while when wife blew up. Not wife flew up, life flew up. Apparently I'm Sylvester the cat today. Well, wife blew up. Life blew up, planning on a relaunch soon. That is awesome. Should be a rehaunting. Trust you to come out for fucking Halloween. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me know if you need any help or like if you need to talk. I'm always here. Oh, girl, I'm so happy to see you. How are the puppers? How are the puppers? I hope they're good. I hope everybody's good. And I mean, I don't want you to think that we ever stop thinking of you. I know I never did because you are a genuinely wonderful soul. Oh, you're such a sweetheart. Anybody who is not signed up to Tish in Tennessee, make sure you get off your ass, go to her page, and sign on. Looking forward to the relaunch. Oh, that's awesome, honey. All good. The little one still tries to take everything through the door. Oh, your puppies are funny. She's got beautiful dogs. Oh my goodness, beautiful dogs. I don't want to make Wolfie, jealous or anything. He's the best wolf we have, but her dogs are amazing. I can't remember. The one's name is Thor, right? What's the other one's name? I can't remember. Damn it. One's name Thor. I don't know. I've had a lot of brain issues since we last spoke, so there are holes in my memory. But I believe one of them was named Thor, wasn't he? Anyway, I loved her puppers. She was always, yeah. Oh, this one needs this, and this one needs that. There we go. Mandisa, Ellie, Thor, and Loki, all boxers. But they're huge. They're so big. They're so big. And, oh God, Thor is just so funny because he every time she would get on the camera and everything, you'd see like he's big, but he thinks he's like little. And so I love when your dogs are like, "Oh yeah, I'm a lap dog." No, you're not. No, you're not. You're way too big. And then they'd go through. Yep, they always crash your live streams. That was awesome. You'd hear them going through the room and it's just dum 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 dum. It was like, damn. It was like a cattle run. So funny. Stampeding through the house. And she'd be like, y'all, I'll be back. God. I'll be back. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. It makes me really happy that you're coming back. Yeah. Make sure that you let me know in Discord and post in my Discord any shows you're gonna do. Because yeah. There's T-Rex Tish, long time no see. Tish in Tennessee, long time no see. I mean, you're another one that got bit by Dr. Seuss. Jeez. But no, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. Yeah, make sure that you post in my Discord. Make sure you tell me so I can shout it out whenever possible. I'm so happy you're back. We're gonna have to catch up and do a stream together once you get rolling. I don't do other people's streams. I go on Winning's channel and that's about it. But yeah, no, I'd love to sit and just have a conversation with you. This lady knows more about history than anybody you've ever met, and she loved to do her research. So anybody who has like any love of history, go check out her channel. She has amazing conversations. She's super generous, super soulful, super sweet. I love me some Tish. So just make sure you check her out. T-Rex said sleep is hard. ADHD doesn't allow my brain to shut up unless I'm absolutely exhausted. Well, you got to learn to sidetrack your brain. I mean, I know you're overthinking T-Rex, and I'm overthinking Shelly. I'm also panic inducing Shelly. So, like I feel panic all the time because my avoidant tendencies make things harder. But it is what it is. Oh, these cats are all stalking in here. I feel like I'm being watched because I am. Yeah, she's going to jump up and try to disconnect my damn laptop. All right, so the arrival of Snips means that is the end of my show because she is not going to let me stay on this computer. She's learned how to close the laptop. and she pulls the mic cord out of the side of the laptop. So that's just great. Lady Austin said, I gave my kids each a $20 bill to pay the lawn guy. And when I handed my son the 20, he said, that's Andrew Jackson, the 7th U.S. president. That is awesome. Oh, you've been learning U.S. currency. That is awesome, because you know that there are many adults who don't know what presidents are on what bills. They're like, who is that? Really? I mean, never mind that the name is right under it, but really? How do you not know who that is? And they're like, well, who's the guy on the $10 bill? He wasn't a president, but you wouldn't have the money in your hand without him. Like, that would not have happened. But yeah, oh, that's so awesome. Oh, so much fun. All right, guys, I am going to jump off. Work in a bank kind of required, right? You got to know that kind of stuff. I am going to jump off and go get something to eat. And I just realized that I forgot to go to the bathroom before I started the stream. So I'm going to end the show so I can go to the bathroom. That would make Ellie happy if she was here, because she swears I never go to the bathroom. So time for me to jump off, and I will see you later. Again, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Winning, for the new clips. Tish, I'm so happy to see you, girl. So happy to see you. Have a great day. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye, Heidi. Thank you for being here, sweetie. And I did get your notifications in Facebook about the chaga, whatever the fuck you call it. I got them. Lady said a couple of weeks ago they asked to hand them the tickets, and I said, oh no, they need to know the difference in money and tickets. Yep, because they don't realize that money, you can't just make money. Like, you could get it, you could reprint a ticket, you can't reprint a $20 bill. I mean, you can, but it's illegal, so I don't recommend it. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful afternoon. I love you, and I will see you tonight on Winning's show, probably in his chat. I will be in his chat. And just take care of each other, and I will see you in the funny papers. Bye.
Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. 4 a.m. at a diner, stop singing, living on a
And doggone it, people like me.
I'm thinking maybe you're a Jersey girl with all those highlights in your hair. No other girl can move like you. We pump our fists, damn right it's true. And I don't care what they might say, they'll never get us anyway. So be my Jersey girl, and take a little ride with me tonight. And let's get dirty, girl. I know that you're a Jersey girl inside. The way you turn it up, turn me on, and then you take it off. Make it hot, make it loud, we'll wake the whole town. Jersey girl, I know that you're a Jersey girl inside.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.